Welcome to the AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. While we're here, Society Hill, South Carolina, for the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet, round number 4, Landon.
Yeah, this is a good round for this whole series. I know a lot of people like coming here. We got beautiful lakes, we got high jumps, rope swings, all that stuff for the kids.
And a race.
And a race at that. I mean, the place is great. It makes for good racing. We might not have had the weather that we've had in the years past. I know years past we've had hot, dry, really good racing. Looks like it might be a little bit different this year. We got some rain, got some wetlands out here, but I think it's still going to make for some good racing and maybe a little bit different from what we've seen in years past.
It certainly is, and thinking back to where we're at to this point in the season and the XC1 on the ATV side of things.
Yeah, Walker Fowler off to a good start. As we expected him to, he's 3 for 3, 3 wins, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. He's on a roll. I'm sure he's not planning on stopping here either. Probably going to come out here, look for another win. But we have had some mix-ups after him.
Yeah.
We've had a couple different people in second and third, but as of last round, Steel Creek, we had Bryson Neal, who he struggled a little bit in round 1 and 2.
Finally putting it together.
Yes, finally putting it together. Seemed really strong at round number 3. So expect to see big things out of him today. And then Jared McClure, I believe it was his first time on the podium at round 3 as well.
It's good to see those guys up there duking it out. Who's going to knock Walker out? Will it happen today, or will he take another one? And then, of course, the XC2 just a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, so similar scenario. We have Walker with 3 wins. We also have John Glover Jr., 3 wins in a row in XC2. But, you know, I know there's tight racing in XC2, and I don't know, we may see someone knock him off that top step today as well.
It's certainly going to be interesting. Drew Landers certainly got a shot at it, finishing second just a couple weeks ago. Whole lot of guys in the mix in that XC2, chomping at the bit for that first win of the season.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for Landon and I down here. We're going to take it down to Jared Bolton for track description.
Thanks, guys. We're here at the beautiful Camp Coker Bullet for this week's Yamaha track description. I say this every week. This is another great race course. There's a reason this race has grown in popularity the past few years. You see behind me, this place is full of ponds like this. There's rope swings, there's zip lines, there's all sorts of stuff to do in addition to the racing. When it comes to the racing, this place is absolutely awesome as well. There's some really, really fast field sections, and then there's some really tight woods. So this truly gives something for everyone. There's some fast flowy trails as well, and then there's even the old Camp Coker motocross track. It's a defunct motocross facility that hasn't been open for about 10 years now, but we breathe life back into it, make it look like it's brand new, and it really adds something cool to this race course. Overall, this is a beautiful facility with some great racing. It's going to be a great weekend. That's this weekend's Yamaha track description. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bolton. Looks like we got a really good track out there today, as we always do here at Camp Coker Bullet. But I think that's it for us here.
That's it. Let's take it down to Rodney Tomlin, down on the start line.
So gallantly stream Thanks a lot, guys. Down here on the starting line as we are about ready to roll into a very historic day of racing, my friends. You know, we talk about all the hype and talk about the many great things. Walker Fowler looking at continuing his undefeated streak here in 2014. He's also looking at making history and tying the all-time wins, third place with Barry Hawk. But I'll tell you, there's one guy down here right now that would like to have something to say about that and not let that happen here in the sands of South Carolina, and that's the Coal Train, Cole Richardson, who's, man, I'll tell you what, got up the steam so many times so far this year, Cole, but man, you just have not been able to seal the deal. But I have a feeling that things are starting to click and things are starting to look forward for you.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, last race did not go as planned. We had a part failure that was out of my control, and you know, it makes me hungry. You know, we had a DNF at Snowshoe and we came back and won, so I kind of have that mindset. You know, I'd like to be on a podium, but you know, I like to switch things up. So, you know, hopefully we're out there fighting for a win today, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we will see what happens, and will he be the one, or will anyone be able to stop Walker Fowler in his quest to claim greatness here today in South Carolina? Well, first we'll have to meet our starting lineup to find out, so stick around right here, right now. Let's meet these 13 XC1 Pro riders as they get set to roll into history here today at the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. Rolling to the line first today with 48 wins, looking to tie the all-time wins record at third today and 49 wins if he can make it happen. Aboard the number 1 from Rogers, Ohio on a Yamaha GBC Tires Fly Racing Yamaha, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today, riding aboard the number 521 from Waverly, West Virginia on an Over Moose Racing Parts Unlimited McGill Mafia Honda, Adam McGill. Rolling to the line today, third in points, riding aboard the number 3, the winningest GNCC racer of all times. Yes, I said it just like that. On a flying Maxxis Racing Old Cycle Barn Suzuki, Chris Borich. Will it take a bullet to stop Walker Fowler at the bullet? Rolling to the line next, fourth in points, aboard the number 4 from Bidwell, Ohio on a Land Mills XCCST Hauser Yamaha, the Bidwell Bullet, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line next, he rides aboard the number 9. He is a rookie here in 2019 from Newfield, New York. Last year's XC2 Pro-Am champ on the Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports WPS Fly Racing Yamaha, Hunter Hart. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 5 out of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on an Action Off-Road GBC Moto Wasback Yamaha. Can he get things put together today? He gets the freight train rolling. It's the Coal Train, Cole Richardson. Rolling to the line next, he rides aboard the number 12. From out of Aurora, Ohio, celebrating his 25th season as an XC1 Pro on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 2. He is 8th in points from Casca, Pennsylvania, to Maxxis Elka Moose Racing Backed Honda, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. Going to the line, 9th today in points aboard the 741. Fresh off a 5th place finish in AMA ATV motocross last weekend from Myersville, Maryland on a Ryland Johnson Racing GBC Motorsport G-Old Cycle Barn Suzuki, Wesley Wolf. Rolling to the line today, 10th in points. He rides aboard the number 11 from Akron, Ohio on a B&R Motorsports GBC Motorsports Hauser Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 14 from Ithaca, New York on a custom Axis Goldspeed Hauser Racing Yamaha, Greg Covert. Aboard the number 7 from Richford, New York on an MCR GBC Motorsports Moose Racing Backed Honda, the Richford Rocket, Marty Christopherson. And last and certainly not least, aboard the number 201, hailing from Carroll, Ohio on a Pierce Performance Moose Racing 560 Graphics Yamaha, Cody Collier. And that is your starting lineup for this, the 4th round of the AMSOIL GNCC and this CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC, my friends. I'll tell you, the stage is set for greatness today, as we have pointed out. Walker Fowler trying to continue his undefeated streak here in 2014, trying to make it 4 in a row. But more importantly, he is trying to etch his name in the history books even a little tighter, as he is looking to tie Barry Hawk in the all-time wins record at 49 if he can make it happen. Of course, just ahead of that is Phil Balance with 67 wins, and what appeared to be at one time the unreachable and untouchable record of Chris Borich at 74 wins. And we're just about 26 or 7 wins away from that now. It is starting to loom in the world of possibility if Walker Fowler can continue winning for the years to come. However, there's a host of riders on this starting line in row number 1 and many more making their way up through the ranks that are hoping to eventually be able to put a stop to the reign that Walker Fowler has certainly dominated here in GNCC for the past few years. What's going to happen here today at the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC, we're about to find out in 2 hours and 1 minute, as we're 1 minute away from going GNCC racing here, folks. So the next time that we see Ricky Towery step out, he will be bringing that blue flag. And once again, for those of you that do not know, the blue flag represents a dead engine sign. It also represents 30 seconds before the start of the race. And all attention now turns to Ricky Towery up in turn number 1 as that blue flag waves. And shut him down, guys. Shut him down, shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. Shut him down. Oh, we got some antsy and some eager folks ready to go racing here today on that starting line. I got to know, do we have any antsy and eager folks out here watching on the starting line? So I'm going to ask you, South Carolina, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Wow, that's pretty good for this crowd, but I think you got more in it. Let's try it one more time. Let's match the energy on that start line. South Carolina, are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at our CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. $250 up for grabs. Walker Fowler on the inside. Oh! Little bar banging action. That's Cole Richardson in second. And the number 2 of Jerry McClure in third. Bryson Neal. Oh, he's in third. No, he's in fourth. They jockey back and forth going into turn 3. XC2 Pro-Am. Drew Landers, Tanner Walker, Brody Livingood, Steve Colbert, Jordan Peblaski, Matthew Blankenship, Charles Dunn, Kenny Schick, Ben Kowalewski, Nick Royalty, Matt Lindell, Roman Brown, Wyatt Wilkin, John Glotta, Ronnie Rush, and Bodie Lambero, all ready to roll next in 10 seconds. XC2 off and rolling. A good clean start as we dive 16 riders deep into that first turn. It looks like a lot more than that, but it is the 303 of Matt Lindell from Muscatine, Iowa, on the B&R Motorsports GNCC Tires Moose Racing Machine, taking the early lead and an extra $100 in the Whitesco Whole Shot Award. Vet A30 Plus class, Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens, Chris Conklin, Marlboro Man, Thomas Scala, Jason Dillard, James Green, Mike Lancaster, Travis Austin, Dirk DeCesar, Kevin Yoho, and Brad Whitehead in 10 seconds. Oh, mercy. I love that first turn here. The 21 of Big Papa P dives in hard. He comes out first. The 21 machine out of Shamoka PA on a GBC Waynesburg Yamaha, backed by Fly Racing. It's Senior A40 Plus class. Michael Hayes, Gary Bufkin, John Sousa, Tom Barrett, Wesley Stone, Brad Macri, Mark Batson, Dale Batson, and Brian Shaw in 10 seconds. And it's the 4-5-1 of Tom Barrett from Morrisville, New York on a Rick Snyder Racing Barrett Brothers Auto O'Neill back machine. College A, one of my favorite classes on this starting line. Seth Wilson, Alan Daniels, Andrew Bambotsky, Logan Weiser, Tyler Swindle, David Sprinson, Trevor Taylor, Peyton Dalton, Brandon Owens, Kelton Harbin. 10 seconds. Hayden Nicholson, Noah Mickelson, Chase Allison, Gavin Jenkins, Dylan Walraven, Rhett Cox, Corey Vanderliner, Hunter Schreiber, Casey Simmons, Cameron Avey, and Mikey Nichols. And at the stripe, whoa, 3:35. That is going to be actually 3:55. Hayden Nicholson from Morgantown, West Virginia on an Outlaw Motorsports Mountain Motor Works Nicholson logging machine. Junior 822 plus class coming up next. We got Carnage still being picked up in that first turn. They get it all sorted out and everybody's rolling now. Junior 822 plus class, Zach Wright, Levi Cohen, Josh Haney, Justin Miller, Luke Shepard, Tyler Palmer, J.D. Millwood. Also Zachary Phillips, Bruce Weiland, Kyle Percy, Nick Davidson, Mitchell Kidd, Alex Elliott, Clinton Graff, Will Jones, Caleb Edwards, Jacob Scott, Ben Danner, Michael McAvoy, Chandler Berner, Andrew Hickson, and Jeremy Ladon. All ready to roll next in 10 seconds. Wow, that first turn is crazy, man. In a good way. Luke Shepard, the 44 from Marion, Ohio on SBR LS4 Hauser Racing. Love that first turn, the way you can just dive in. It's so soft and make that turn. Some of these guys are executing that beautifully. All right, Vet B 30 plus, Nick Miller, Nathan Tickle, Aaron Hendershot, CJ Mullet, Chris Leidenfeld, Corey Tribalock, Cody Holcomb, Wesley Smith, Cody Stewart, and John Higgins in 10 seconds. And here we go again. Watching that first turn, how deep that sand is, the way they lay in there and just power out of there. It's just beautiful. And it's the 4:09. Why? Because the world's not ready for the 4:10. It's Corey Tribalock from Niles, Ohio on a B&R Motorsports Fast Company. DP brakes, the only thing stopping him, machine. Senior B 40 plus in 10 seconds. Greg Phillips, Daniel Dakota, Jason Limley, David Ogden, Nick Lembruno, Eugene Siemens, Yuri Kocherin, Robert Stevens, Jeff Harvey, and Scott Yada. I believe Jeff Harvey may be our featured writer this week on Racer TV, and also got a podcast we'll talk about a little later on. But the 918 Jeff Harvey, there he is, out of West Union, West Virginia on a McGill Mafia CST Tires Fly Racing back machine, opening up to the early lead. College B class coming up next. Ronald Howard, Dalton Keys, Grayson Eller, Braylon Secure, Jaron Dawkins, Cale Klein, Colton Kendall, Corey Miller, Hunter Gowan, Aaron Greenwell, Tanner Green. 10 seconds. Brylan Williams, Hunter Gotze, Clayton Whitney, Jack Kidd, Brandon Clark, Tyler Rumke, Mitchell Orabello, Caden Ryan, and Keegan Walker. Grayson Eller, Phoenix Racing Honda Red Rider, an actual Red Rider, has been winning this class the last few rounds. But looks like starting out front, it's going to be the 345. Eller gets through the third now, but the 345 of Cale Klein from Camargo, Illinois, on a B&R Motorsports Moose Racing Amsoil machine, grabbing the early lead in this one. Junior B 22 plus class, Josh Adams, Travis Matthias, David Kite, Joseph Mercy, Neil Tolston, Jacob Allball, Dylan Holloway. 10 seconds. Mike Percy, Nathan Johnson, Ryan Mazie, Justin Collins, Justin Eisen, Jonathan Crimebull, and Travis McConaughey. .402, Jacob Allball from West Milton, Ohio, on a JPMX B&R Motorsports LSR back machine. And that looks like that's it. A clean start. Everyone's off. We got some 150 or so out there here this afternoon trying to make things happen. And with that, we're going to find out how it's all getting sorted out as these riders trying to, well, one trying to make history while the rest is trying to slow that down. Can Walker Fowler get win number 49 today? Will someone stop it? Stick around. GNCC Live continues right after this.
Consistent clutch fuel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remain clean with no visible wear. The competitor's oil, however, allowed discoloration and significant wear after just 16 starts. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Give your bike the protection it needs.
Spanning over 3 decades, one name has taken the lead for supplying the best powersport parts, accessories, and apparel to fuel your passion. One name that knows it goes beyond getting you the best prices, quickest shipping, or largest selection. One name that builds and innovates for our industry. One name that teaches, helps, and supports our fellow riders, racers, and organizations. We are Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Visit us today and experience the best in OEM and aftermarket parts, accessories, apparel, and industry-leading information. Get free shipping on orders over $75, free apparel exchanges both ways, and the best customer service. Experience one name that leads all others. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Speed has its price. Fortunately, it's super affordable. The Specialized Speed into Spring Sale with up to 40% off March 15th through 31st. The faster you visit your local Specialized dealer, the faster you ride.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes, it's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. I'm Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf and Mikey Waynes here at the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. It is round number 4 of America's premier off-road racing championship, the 2019 AMSOIL GNCC Series presented by Specialized. And here we are today in Society Hill, South Carolina at Camp Coker, a very famed motocross track from back in the 80s and 90s. And of course, a lot of big names turning laps on this one in history, and now we've got big names turning laps out there to write new history here at Camp Coker. And as they get it all sorted out here on lap number 1, let's check in with some of the riders to find out how they were feeling heading into this weekend's race.
this track is honestly like very different because Florida we get a lot of sugarcane like whoops and deep 4-foot whoops and big burns, but here it's like it's still kind of fresh facility. It's got a lot of roots and a lot of tightness and kind of a lot more of, I like to call it like homegrown GNCC racing, you know, like back to its roots of good passing and good woods and open hardwood trails. So this place got a little bit of everything. It's got sugarcane sand, it's got black little soot, you know, it's got a pea gravel, it's got a lot of stuff, different stuff gets thrown at you, and good track.
I typically do like this track, yeah. We haven't really been here on ATV day in the rain, so that'll be a new feature. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so we've been here 3 times. I've won 2. Adam has won 1. So see what the 4th one's going to bring us.
Yeah, I think the track's going to be sweet. You know, we've had 2 rains so far today, and tomorrow it looks like we're going to get a little more rain. So I think if we could I'd like it to be either super mudder or start to dry up, you know. But if it's going to be a super mudder, we've got some 22s from Axis that we're going to definitely rock. And I'd be down for a good mudder. You know, we haven't had one of those yet this year, and this place will be kind of different because it's sandy, so it gets super deep out there. But no, I think it's going to be about perfect. You know, the sand's going to do a great job of soaking it up. And it's going to just hold together really well. You know, I biked the track earlier, and it looked really good. You know, these guys did a great job of laying it out. It honestly looks pretty fun. You know, I'm ready to go tomorrow. There's some awesome grass tracks and fields like that, which I definitely dig, and the sand will definitely get rough, and that's where me being a little taller helps in the rough stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be a good day. We're excited, you know. We're just going to have to wait and see how it goes.
Welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynesby, joined alongside Rodney Tomlin and the Landon Wolf here momentarily as we are taking a look there at riders moving through the Monster Mile here this afternoon. And here we are, CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet here in beautiful Society Hill, South Carolina for a little GNCC racing action. Walker Fowler off to a great start, doing exactly what he wants to do. Cole Richardson fighting hard to jump up there into that top spot, but getting edged out just a little bit by Walker Fowler for the start of this race. And I believe to get things started, we're going to show you guys a little glimpse of this weekend's track map here in just a moment. There you go. So the Yamaha Racing track map here for the race this weekend. About an 11.5-mile course, so just shy of 12 miles there. And you can see all of the circles, the white circles there that you see on the track, those are going to be our camera shots we have got for you guys here today. So you'll be able to take a look at that. A little bit of everything here. Of course, the FMF PowerPoint, and you did see a little bit of that Monster Mile as well. So a little bit of everything for you guys here in Society Hill. Pretty sandy track, as you might imagine. It's got some of that black, not quite Florida black sand, but still sand regardless, which might play well into some of these guys who spent their off-season training down in Florida. They're prepared for it. You know what? They're pro riders. They know what they're doing. Doggone it. So should shape up to be some pretty good racing here. And just to give you a quick recap, we are going to take a look now at the starts for the XC1 and XC2 class, starting with the XC1 start. And this is what I was talking about a second ago. Walker Fowler, and look at that, Cole Richardson trying to edge him out, doesn't quite get it. So Walker Fowler ripping out there with Cole behind him, and a slew of riders right after the whole shot in the thick of things right there. And then out of the XC2, we had, give me that again, Adam. I believe it was Matt Lindell had the whole shot in the XC2 class. Yes, Matt Lindell takes that XC2 whole shot right there. Look at that start. Matt Lindell, that's got to be his best start on the season. That's pretty solid little go for Matt Lindell. Looking for a win here at Camp Coker in that XC2 class, Pro-Am class. So, again, we talked about Walker Fowler doing his Walker Fowler thing, getting out front early and trying to capture his 4th win, chasing the Barry Hawk on the all-time wins list. Would be, 3rd in the all-time wins list, I believe. Yeah, I got a nod from Rodney. He said yes. He's my fact checker. On ATVs. Yeah, that is correct. On the ATV side of things. Fourth overall, and then 3rd on the ATV side of things. So Walker Fowler. But with that said, a lot of guys in that XC1 class chomping at the bit. Things are a lot different than last season. You think back, and it seemed like everybody was getting a piece of the pie. This season is very reminiscent of what we saw back in 2017, been the Walker Fowler show. I actually asked him yesterday if he could replace, we keep saying the monkey on your back was Johnny Gallagher, who held him back from getting a perfect season. So I said, can we change the monkey on your back to the Johnny Gallagher on your back? And, of course, Walker made a joke. He said, well, Johnny's lost all that weight. Yeah, I'm fine with that. He can jump on. So, but yeah, here we go. More of our riders working through that Monster Energy Monster Mile. Walker's no longer out in front. Sounds like Walker, I'm getting reports now, he's fallen back into the number 6 spot out there. So we got at least 5 guys who've worked their way around him, Rodney.
Yeah, so obviously the pressure, I don't know if it's the pressure or what, but definitely something set Walker Fowler back after grabbing that early lead, that hole shot out there a few moments ago. And you know, I don't know. Oftentimes it seems like whenever Walker has pressure being applied to him, he seems to rise to the occasion without much issue. But I have to wonder if, you know, the number 49 might be weighing in his mind a little bit. And you know, I mean, that's one thing that he was talking about here not too long ago, actually leading into the season. He was talking about win number 50 and surpassing Barry Hawk.
Yeah.
And let alone, so here we are at the possibility of tying him. And it's something that he thinks about. He was thinking about it last night. He was thinking about it earlier this. It's something that is not in the back of his mind, but in the forefront of his mind. So obviously he's thinking a whole lot about it. Right now, look at this XC2 coming through, and look how nose to tail these guys are. They are really ripping. I can't wait till we see.
Wheel to wheel.
Yes. I cannot wait to see what this is going to look like whenever they come through the finish line here in just a little bit. So I believe that was XC2 going through there. Maybe some of our College A riders also mixed in amongst all that. I have to say, I mean, I like XC1 and I like XC2, but there's something about that College A and even the College B class. Those college classes, to me, that's where the raw talent is. It's kind of like college football, you know, and college basketball. It's better sometimes because there's so much heart and so much hunger going on down there. So it's a whole lot of fun to watch those classes. So we'll be keeping an eye on the college classes as much today, I think, as we will as many of the other classes, just simply because they have got some whale of battles going on in there, and they have been. And if you watch some of those ones unfold, it's remarkable, no doubt.
Well, those are certainly the guys that, 2-3 years from now we'll be talking about in the XC1, the XC2 guys. So, yeah, future GNCC right there.
Well, as we always like to say, here we are at the Monster Mile. At this Monster Mile, and of course, as we always like to deem it, and it may not be quite a mile, 5,280 feet, but it is certainly a monster no matter how you break it down. And it feels like maybe a mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, depending on how challenging it is. And the challenges here, well, we'll find out here when we talk to some of our riders and get a look at what this Monster Mile is like. It looks very tight. That's one of those situations where it looks tight, it looks rough, and early on it doesn't appear that there's a lot of line choices that's going to be available for you out there, and it also appears with all the small saplings and things that you have off to the sides of the trees, this could possibly hide a few stumps out there, so this could be a monster on these guys and really take its toll on them as they make their way through this section of the race course. Here at GNCC. We're in lap number 1, Society Hill, South Carolina, the famed Camp Coker motocross track that hasn't been in operation for several years, turned into a shooting preserve. They actually do a lot of skeet shooting and things like that around here, as well as a variety of other types of hunting activities, but certainly a very nice facility and one that still carries a lot of the nostalgia of days gone by as far as the moto track is concerned. And you saw us out there. We got started. We were kind of like next to the actual starting line that they used to use here at Camp Coker, and we were able to utilize that portion of the racetrack. Again, at the Monster Mile, we'll be picking up our leaders, I'm sure, coming through some other portions of this track here soon, and some of our other riders also. I'm not sure what lap times are going to be like here today, but so far we've been 22 minutes into this, and I think our earlier lap times were somewhere in the neighborhood of the 26 to 28 minute range, I think, from earlier this morning in our first lap. So we'll wait with bated breath to find out just exactly what is going on there as we take this opportunity once again to welcome you all here to RacerTV.com and GNCC Live. I'm Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes, and of course we got plenty of great things going on. As you see, beautiful place. There's the corner of the moto track. You see some of the old bleachers that are still in standing. And here come the bikes. You can hear them. You can tell that that is the XC1 class rolling just from the background noise that I'm hearing behind the broadcast booth. And there they go. Their nose to tail. There's first and second going by the pond. We'll get a little closer look and see who that actually is. Now, last check, we have Walker Fowler all the way back in 6th place. The question is that who is that out front, and where is Walker, and will he be able to climb back into position? I almost have to think that might have looked like Walker back up in position again as we roll through this moto track. That is Walker. He has gone from 6th to 1st place. So anyone that was thinking, well, Walker might have gotten shaken, there might be another chink in the armor like we saw early last season. That's not so much the case here today. Passing going on out here on this moto track. You see riders reaching up and grabbing those roll-offs out there. A little bit of spray and sand up on those goggles, but if you look at the course conditions overall, these are perfect course conditions. Had it not rained, the little bit that it rained last night, there's a good chance that we may be looking at dry, dusty conditions here today. So the rain is maybe unfavorable as it may have been coming in, and it might be something that maybe kept a few people from stopping over and going racing here with us this weekend. It is perfect. There is the number 3. I believe that is Chris Borich right now. As we see him back in that number 3 position, he's got company coming as things really tightening up all around as Walker Fowler drops from 1st to 6th and now back up into a 1st place position. And we haven't even made it all the way through lap number 1. We're approaching 25 minutes in the lap number 1, about 24 and a half as we look at that a little bit closer. We should be seeing XC2 riders come in here pretty soon also. Some of the riders that we'll be watching out in that one. Drew Landers, obviously your early leader in that one, I believe the 303 of Matt Lindell. Also Tanner Walker and Brody Livingood. As we got position changes already taking place in the front pack of our XC2 class now as well. See if we get a number on that one. That might have been Landers going by there and moving into position. And watching as they go through the FMF PowerPoint right now, this moto track. Look, and there it is. I mean, that's the passing you see going on, jockeying for spots. And there goes one rider passing up to the 2nd place position, if I was counting that down right. And I unfortunately can't see that number. So not real sure who that one is going to be. You get a spotter out there on that motor track to give us that. But look at that, the passes that are taking place. Amazing how some guys are really in tune with things, while others not so much when it comes to motocross tracks out there. 807 machine, or at least that's what we got on the back of his jersey right now, trying to find that rider. Don't see him in the first few rows out there, so might be a rider with a different GNCC number than we see on his back out there, and that can get a little confusing, but oftentimes riders come with pre-numbers and they have their machines already numbered, but we may not have that number available for them to run in GNCC, so they are assigned a GNCC number, which will go on their helmet tag, and that's what they're scored with, is a little sticker on their helmet. Plus, they also receive a transponder. A transponder is the official scoring system. And speaking of transponders, here's the way they are clicking off at the end of lap 1. That is Bryson Neal in 2nd, less than a second behind Walker Fowler. McClure in 3rd, Cole Richardson in 4th. Chris Borich now back in the number 5 spot, so we've seen some changes going on there. I thought I counted Borich back in 3rd, but he might have been 5th place. I might have been thinking wrong. And look at this, 2 XC2 riders, John Glada and Tanner Walker, checking in with faster laps. A 25:43 for Glada, 25:48 for Tanner Walker. Ben Kowalewski checking in 3rd place. That's XC2 Pro-Am. Matt Lindell, who got the whole shot, is 4th place overall now with a 25:57. Ronnie Rush, 5th place overall and 5th in the XC2 Pro-Am class with a 26:09. Walker Fowler at 26:17. Bryson Neal 26:18. a lot of pacing going on up front between those guys. And not only that, I'm sure a lot of cat and mouse going on, and that has allowed the top 5 in the XC2 Pro-Am class to climb to the front of the pack on overall adjusted time. And when you look at it, right now, by better than, there's 26 seconds that John Glotta right now has over Walker Fowler. So he's 26 seconds faster. Walker's going to have to find 26 seconds, and John Glotta is going to have to slow down if we want to see this change. But the top 5 checking in. Looks like the Mikey Waynes is coming back. He looks pretty excited.
Well, a little bit of everything's going on. It sounds like we're not real sure. We haven't gotten an official report yet, but from what I understand, it sounds like the XC2 guys may have gotten off the main track. It sounds like they may have gone on part of the AM track, so that would explain why they're first, second, and third. And what, fourth, fifth? Your top riders are all out of the XC2. And I'm out of breath now. Switch it. I got you. I can hear you.
How about?
I can hear you in that one.
This one? All right.
That sounds good.
All right, so there we go. We got it working. How about now? Yeah, we can hear me now. All right, so wow, that right there, that does explain quite a bit.
Yeah.
And 26 seconds, I mean, I remember hearing them talk about that, and they do have little loops. Man, 26 seconds is not a lot to gain on those guys by taking whatever time they took out there. So maybe these XC1 guys, I thought maybe they were playing a little game of cat and mouse out there and maybe slowed each other down, especially with Walker dropping back to 6 and stuff like that at one point. So obviously a little misdirection by some of those riders. And the thing about it is, it wasn't just one, it was a bunch of them.
It was a whole pack of them.
So there must have been some sort of confusion out there, some sort. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it will be rectified in timing and scoring.
Yeah, they'll get it fixed. When I first heard about it, it sounded like it might have been the XC1 guys, and then they all come through in the order we expected them to. And then, the mix-up in the XC2. But, yeah, we'll get it all worked out. It creates a headache for the scoring folks, but not a big deal. We'll get through it, and we'll get it worked out.
We most certainly will. And as we check in, once again, here's top 10 and XC1 Pro class. We'll start looking at a few of these other classes for you real quick as we watch the moto track right here. If you see anything, Mikey, be sure and point it out. But Walker Fowler, Bryson Dale, Jared McClure, 1, 2, and 3, Richardson in 4th. You do the math right now. It's less than 5 seconds back to the 5th place position, Chris Bortz right now, on board the number 3. 6th place, Adam McGill aboard the 521. Only 2 more seconds back of him. Now there is a big break between 6th and 7th, and that goes back to your rookie, Hunter Hart, where we see a near 45-second gap between 6th and 7th. Then we have Hunter Hart, Wesley Wolf, the 741. 9th place, Johnny Gallagher, and 10th place, Cody Collier, out of Carroll, Ohio on that 201. The XC2 Pro-Am class, again, not sure how they're going to work this out, but John Glotta, Tanner Walker, Ben Kowalewski, whom we've seen first through 3rd overall, along with Matt Lindell and Ronnie Rush, your top 5 overall. As of right now, that still stands that way. Jordan Paplatsky, the 82 from Shamokin, PA, is 6th. 7th is Kenny Schick, the 191 out of Newcastle, PA. 8th place is Bodie Lamoureux from Windsor, New York. 9th place, actually that was Brody Lamoureux. You got Bodie Lamoureux and Brody Livingood. Livingood's out of Falling Waters, West Virginia. Ithaca, New York, home to Stevie Cover, who rounds out your top 10 in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Big brother to one of our XC1 class riders at number 14 of Greg Covert, believe it or not. And his big brothers in the XC2 class and little brothers in the XC1 class. If that says a lot. Well, it just says that Big Brother got started after he's seen Little Brothers having fun. It's my turn to start. But both riders highly competitive. I think actually Big Brother actually won the Junior 25 Plus Championship a year or 2 ago, if I'm not mistaken. All right, Mikey, watching the screen out here now at the finish line, we see that we do have a few of our College A riders that have checked in. That last rider checking in was a College A rider, I believe. Let's double check. Hayden Nicholson. Hayden actually got the whole shot in this class. He just checked in if you were watching the finish line. But Noah Mickelson with an M. And it's funny because Noah Mickelson has a big brother named Hayden Mickelson. And you've got a Hayden Nicholson in the same class with him. But Noah Mickelson is leading. Dylan Walraven out of Dallas, Georgia, running in second. Cameron Abey, the 8:08 out of Union, South Carolina, 8:88 actually, is running in third. Hayden Nicholson, Morgantown, West Virginia, in fourth. Davis Brinson out of Hendersonville, North Carolina, in fifth. Kelton Hardin is your sixth place position right now. I seen Luke Shepard just checked in. I think he's third place now in that junior 25-plus class. Shepard actually got the whole shot in the junior 22-plus class, that junior A class. But let's see how it's panning out now. Bruce Weiland out of Renshaw, Pennsylvania, 1.4 seconds ahead of the 5:31 of Michael McAvoy from Chester, West Virginia. And there's Shepard back in the number 3 spot, the 44 out of Marion, Ohio. If you're watching the finish line, you're down around that area. He, according to timing and scoring, was the last guy to check in. That next one, though, was Nick Davidson, Levi Cohen, the 228 out of Steubenville, Ohio. Levi Cohen out of Millfield, Ohio. The 31 are fourth and fifth place positions now. Michael Hayes checking in. We got some senior A riders checking in also. So let's see how Hayes is doing in that senior A class. Actually, Brian Shaw leading the senior A class with Tom Barrett 25 seconds back. Dale Batson and Mark Batson, former ATV motocross riders for Media All-Stars, making the switch a few years ago to the wood side of things out of Michigan. The brothers Batson are running third and fourth right now. John Sousa, the 410 out of Warwick, Rhode Island, in fifth. Wesley Stone out of Auburn, PA, is sixth. And Michael Hayes out of Rocky Face, Georgia, is your seventh place position finish as we look at those some of those amateur riders. Still waiting and watching from some of these pro riders out here on this track, Mikey. And again, the big excitement right now as we roll through this one is the fact that we've got XC2 Pro-Am riders, top 5, leading the overall. But again, the explanation to that is...
sounds like they got off course a little bit. Sounds like they might have taken some arrows that pushed them into the AM part of the track, which is not part of the PM track. So it sounds like at least, 4 or 5 of those guys ended up on the wrong side.
It's a possibility, and unfortunately, you are responsible to follow the course, so there will be some repercussions from this. Unless there was some sort of track error, I don't think so. But regardless, 5 guys did it. They have 5 guys racing very intently. Speaking of intently racing, check this out. Jeff Pickens and Kevin Yoho. These guys used to battle it out in the XC1 Pro class a few years ago. Pickens has been kind of dominating this Vet A class. Well, I wouldn't say dominating, but last year he had a pretty good year. Kevin Yoho steps up this year and decides he wants to try to throw his hat in the ring. Well, Kevin's been dominant. I mean, he's been crushing it all year. Pickens, though, look at this, 2.4 seconds ahead this time around.
He's got to feel good. He actually mentioned that round 1 this year. Not that he said it was easy last year, but he said, boy, with Kevin now in this class with me, he's like, it's a whole new ball game now, and it's clearly lit a fire under him.
Well, it brings back riders like Michael Lancaster, the 408 out of Morgantown, West Virginia. Good to see him. Brad Whitehead's another name that we see in this class and moving up. And a tough one out of Reading, PA. James Green, a former top XC2 Pro-Am rider, 275 out of St. Mary's, West Virginia. Chris Conklin, 48 out of Sistersville, West Virginia, in 6th. Dirk DeCesar, good to see him back out here again. 494 out of Mineral Ridge, Ohio. 8th place, the Marlboro man, Todd Muscala out of Uniontown, PA. Jason Dillard out of Charleston, West Virginia, and Travis Austin out of Marshville, North Carolina, your top 10. You know, you got to hand it to, I call him the Marlboro man, Todd Muscala. There's obviously a story behind that, and it is obviously what you expect. He likes to smoke, and he takes one with him on the track if he breaks down or he just happens to. But anyway, Todd comes from the Uniontown area of Pennsylvania, and that right there is, I'm talking the real heart of GNCC country up there. And you talk about, when you cut him, he bleeds GNCC. Red, white, and blue.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It ain't just red. It's red, white, and blue. You got to hand it, tip your hat to a guy like that, Tom Muscala. He grew up on GNCC, and he is racing with some of the riders that he used to really be big fans of. I mean, and now
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Love seeing that, and I love these vet classes like this too, and seeing some of these guys come back, hadn't been around for a few years. A couple of those names starting to poke back in there. Well, our XC1 class, we'll double check on these guys right now. They're due in about 16 minutes, so we should be out in the woods someplace. We'll get some of that intel and information about camera shots and mileage and things like that for you in just a few moments. But we got a lot of stuff going on, especially over here at this finish line. As we see, there's some College B riders starting to check in. I see Keegan Walker has checked in. He was the last guy through. Cody Stewart just ahead of that, a Vet B class rider. So let's check in with some B classes now, see how things are starting to shape up there. Looks like College B starting to check in. We've got Dalton Keys out of Holton, Indiana. 19.3 seconds ahead of the 171 of Grayson Eller from Salisbury, North Carolina, whom I think has won the first 3 rounds, at least 2 of the first 3 rounds of this college B class. And Grayson, if you don't know it, we say this all the time, but I'm really impressed when a moto guy can come over here and do this. But he's a motocrosser for the Phoenix Racing Honda team. He's a Red Rider over there from ATVMX, and he had a great showing last week in Texas. The confidence that he's been able to build here in the wood side of things has really carried over on the motocross side of things. But Grayson Eller running second right now. That's going to be a good battle. Keep an eye out on this one. It's 19 seconds right now, but I think it's going to be a good fight before the day's over. 9:29, Keegan Walker out of Berlin, PA. Is third place at 5:27. Aaron Greenwell from Beech Grove, Indiana. He is your 4th place position ride. And that's College B as Tanner Green, the 607 from Lebanon, Indiana, just checked in. Literally the last rider through in that College B class, 5th place position. As we'll go into some other classes here. What are we looking at? No junior B class riders yet, so I guess a little excited. Vet B class, we know we got some of those guys in. Aaron Hendershot out of Mansfield, Ohio.
That is the brother, I believe, of Dustin Hendershot, if I'm not mistaken, who's actually our
Moto Hero. Yeah.
That was the cool story behind that. So I ran into Dustin Hendershot at the Indy Supercross autograph signing on Friday night. He tells me, I said, are you racing in GNCC this year? Because first of all, he asked me why in the heck I wasn't here. So I had to explain that. And then I said, well, why aren't you there? And he's like, well, the schedule, we've got the kid now, and that's kind of the focus. He said, but my brother, he is all in this year. He's loving it. He's going to every round. And he talked about how he is, currently serving and all that. And I was like, hey, listen, AMSOIL's got this great new program, Moto Hero. Get online, nominate him. And then I look on Instagram like the next week, and boom, there he is. I was like, yes, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a pilot and everything. Yeah. I mean, he's a true – I mean, all servicemen and women, in my opinion, are true heroes. But, I mean, he does – I mean, everybody does cool stuff and what they – but, man, flying a plane, come on now. That's some pretty cool stuff,
that's pretty
right?
Awesome.
There's
really only a few cooler jobs than that. One, me and Rodney announcing. No, not
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think the pilot kind of takes the cake on that one.
Yeah,
But Aaron Hendershot leading Cody Stewart, the 813 out of Pleasant City, Ohio. The 81 of Nick Miller from Bristolville, Ohio is third. John Higgins, the 819 from Waynesburg, PA, in fourth. And fifth place is Nathaniel Tickle out of Bland, Virginia. That's your Vet B 30-plus class. We got riders on this screen. Do we have lead riders coming through right now?
I can barely see. I got to glare something awful.
Yeah. I don't think that's our lead rider.
I don't think that's our leaders. That was our leader. That was our leaders, so either
Bryce,
we missed Walker or he's no longer out front, one or the other.
I think that Bryson Neal Walker was in that pack.
Bryson Neal out
come
front.
on over here. Grab yourself a headset, a microphone, or something. Huh? We'll go to the pits then. Grab your microphone. Where's the
green mic right there. Yeah, that's B. Neal out front. All right, so Bryson Neal's out front. Walker back in third or fourth, sounds like Landon Wolf just told us.
Yeah. Landon, so you're watching things out here. You're on right there, by the way. So you're watching things out here. Obviously, Bryson was right on the rear wheel last time I seen him anyway on a camera shot, but we've got things changing around. That's getting pretty exciting out there, it looks like.
Nope.
Hey, Adam, turn on the green mic. Well, as soon as he gets that up, we'll talk here. That might be it right there. There it is. You're on.
Yeah, I heard him.
So, that's what I was just looking there on screen. We had that cool transponder system going. We saw the guys coming in. As far as I could tell, that was B. Neal up front. I was trying to concentrate. Right there is Hunter Hart. But I was really trying to concentrate on making sure that was B. Neal up front. So I missed who was in maybe second and third.
Yeah.
But I did see that Walker was back to third, fourth place, something like that. So, things are getting mixed up a little bit out there. I know Bryson's been wanting to get to that lead position there for a while, and he's finally got it. There we got Wesley.
Well, he told me today. He said the Bidwell Bullet, the Camp Coker Bullet. He says CST tires. I got to win this thing. It's basically what he told me today.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one for him to win, and yeah, he's put himself in a pretty good position here early on. So I'm gonna head down to the pits, guys, and see if we can get some reports when these guys come through.
All right, thanks a lot. That's Landon Wolfel, LW, coming off with a big win himself earlier today, if memory serves me correct.
4 in a row for Landon.
That's great. That's good stuff, man. That is real good stuff, no doubt.
Tell you what, Dwight Pollard, though, was on him, though. There was a couple seconds difference between them a few times. So, yeah, it's certainly they're not making it easy on Landon.
Hey, there was Ronnie Rush. We just saw the XC2 Pro-Am rider coming through the 714. Now, last check, I think he was running, second in class, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, fifth in class. He was fifth in class when he came through there. So we've seen some of the XC2 guys checking in. I think this might be another XC2 guy. See if we can snag a number off of this one. Not going to happen this time around. But that may have been Jordan Poplatsky or Kenny Schick. Kenny, I'm surprised we haven't seen more out of, to be honest with you, especially with the amount of training that he does and the riders that he trains with in the offseason. Another rider, though, that, is slow to get his legs sometimes, but sometimes not.
So one of the things I was looking to see, well, I guess we'll get a better idea after they've come through a couple times, is that whole situation with was it the top 4 or 5 guys that were off course? I mean, is that going to open up the window for Ronnie Rush or Poplatsky or?
Well, Ronnie was a part of that. So
was he? Okay,
yeah.
So maybe Jordan.
Yeah. So Poplatsky might be able to be the one that would be benefiting from that. And who's to say? I don't know. Maybe the rest of the guys did too. They just didn't have the lap times.
It could be.
I mean, I don't know the official, and we just know we got a preliminary report on what took place. And heck, the preliminary report might be completely wrong. So don't hold what we say there as the gospel.
It's like speculating, stirring the pot.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So we'll let the track crew get that all sorted out. We'll let them make the decisions on that. Right now, we continue to watch the finish line, we were watching the finish line. Now we're down in the pro pit area. This is the VP Fuels Pro Row, as we like to call it there. And that's actually just maybe just a little ways before the finish. They go through there. They go through another little section and then to the finish line itself. So we'll see a lot of intensity, these guys, especially as the race wears on and they come through here. And that last lap, that white flag lap when they're racing toward the checkers, this pro row, this VP Fuels Pro Row is going to be a fun place to watch some racing from, no doubt. And all right, so let's take a look at what's going on out here on the race course, live track map wise. And this is something new that we've got here on Racer TV that we've been experimenting with. If you look there, we see the big yellow X about midway through there, and you see Jared McClure third. Now, Jared would be the third place rider, so I believe that would mean that he is behind Walker Fowler. Walker Fowler, they've got now tagged in a first place position, so Fowler back out front. I would assume that means that Neal is second, and that is that now putting us in that third place position as we had.
So maybe we did miss Walker coming through there. Either that or him and Bryson Neal are battling each other out there.
Well, it looks like according to the way the track map is reading right now on the live track map, these guys are pretty much nose to tail, just like what we saw them. So that position jockey, like I think Landon said, he saw like third, fourth, or something like that. He thought he saw Walker going through. He didn't see who was second, but he did catch he thought that Walker was either third or fourth right there in that pack. And as quick as Walker's making passes, we've seen it happen on lap 1. We've seen it happen in Florida the first round. Heck, from 9th to first place on that first lap like that. From 6th to first place in a matter of a half mile just a little while ago. So it's no surprise to see Walker from 3rd or 4th place back up to a first place position here on this lap either. But you know what it is? It just keeps happening. And, if these mistakes and this stuff keeps compounding, Walker right now, I hate to say it, I ain't saying that the armor's chinked, but Walker might be a little against the wall right now, trying to fight to get into position to stretch this thing out. Walker does not like to have riders this close to him at this juncture in the race. This is the part of the race where he likes to stretch it out, see nobody behind him, and get that big comfort zone. But even he said it today, these guys are picking it up. His leads are not nearly as great as they were after the first round. Second round, it got tighter. Third round, it got tighter. And he said, these guys are coming. And that's what he told me this morning. So he knew that this was a feeling in the air. plus Walker's got a lot of extra on his shoulders right now, thinking about the record. You know, you wouldn't think that kind of stuff bothers him, but it does. He's one of the most highly competitive people in the world, and those records mean so much to him. He really, that's just personal satisfaction, whether or not he brags about it to everybody or not. All right, if you watch this on the live track map right now, if you're watching RacerTV.com, we got the live track map up right now, and we're headed to the FMF PowerPoint. So you can see on an overview what the layout on this track is like, and I believe the red dots that you are seeing is where our cameras are located, if I'm not mistaken also. Or close to where our cameras are located, anyhow. We're in the approximation. And there's our leaders. There's Walker Fowler. Look at that. Already got himself
the motocross section.
Yeah, already got himself a comfort zone opening up as he hits the moto track this time. And it's, I mean, believe it or not, this is the biggest lead I think Walker's had all day.
Yep.
Second place position, checking in. I believe not going to be far behind him, but maybe he is far behind him. That's not Walker, is it?
I don't think.
No, that's not Walker. That's not riding like a Walker Fowler. Or is it? Yeah, I guess maybe it is. No, that's
the number 4.
That's Bryson Neal. I was going to say he wasn't riding with the urgency that we saw. There's Walker. We didn't see the urgency that we saw. And now I'm beginning to wonder, is that Walker ahead, or is that Walker back in second now behind Bryson Neal? Maybe our live track
Bryson Neal
and
might,
there's the
might
number
be
3 machine of Chris Borich right there also. So Borich is up from 5th, and he's right on the rear wheel of Walker Fowler. I'm thinking Walker's back and still in second or third. Our timing, our live map might have been a little bit off.
Yeah, it looks to me like Bryson's out in front. I believe that was him at the bottom of the screen ahead of these guys. So that's the gap between Bryson and Walker then.
Wow.
So Bryson is ripping through there.
He is ripping, and man, I mean, wow. So apologies to everyone. I mean, we were watching that live track map, and, you know, it was going on at guesstimations, I think, of what one of the scoring timing loops was, the last one they went through. I'm so sorry. I got to sneeze so bad right now. I can't understand it.
Do it. So as those guys move through the FMF PowerPoint, it's always interesting who's getting a pit here. That's not.
But nonetheless, basically, I believe it is Bryson Neal out front, and Walker's back a couple of spots, and he's battling with Chris Borich right now for that position, and we're going to find out more technically where they're at when they start checking in here in just a moment. As we had pointed out, we were approaching that FMF PowerPoint area, and I think that we may actually be in it right now, which is the moto track, if I'm not mistaken. And there is.
So that's
Walker.
Bryson.
Yeah, no, that's Hunter
Bryson.
Hart right there, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah,
I can't see. Oh, that is Hunter.
That's Hunter Hart right there. Hunter right now, looking back, is running in a 7th place position here in the XC1 Pro Class, and there's something odd. Normally we see Hunter with someone. He's either got someone latched on or someone's pushing him, but that's not the case today. Hunter is literally riding by himself.
Yeah, but boy, did he work that motocross section. So
big changes, different things going on here.
But
today,
it is.
Mikey.
Everything's all mixed up. I'm not used to seeing Hunter Hart out there in no man's land. So here we go. Now Walker, looks like Walker's going to be taking a pit.
Yep, so there is your leader. That is McGill. McGill is in.
So McGill's in.
Actually, McGill might have been your leader, and Bryson
so McGill, unless we miss Bryson in the pits.
Yeah, so, man, there's some big changes. So McGill, it was in at least second or first. Then Walker was in probably third or fourth, and Chris Borich right behind him. So there's Chris Borich coming through now. So we're going to get a more technical observation of what's going on here, and the best that I can assess it, we're not getting, like I say, a lot of updates coming in.
Well, that looked like McGill there.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive I saw the McGill on the back.
Maybe that was Borich. Okay, maybe it was Borich.
I think was
Borich.
You
might have been right. That
so
might
it's
have been
probably
Borich. Okay.
Neal, Borich, and then Walker. That might have been McGill back there in fifth, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at the pits.
Now we'll know for sure.
Yeah.
Now no more guessing on me and Rodney's part. Now we're going to know.
I'm sorry. You're right, because
there
that was
is
Chris Borich right beside Walker. That wasn't Adam McGill. I was thinking Adam was there. That was last year or year before. Whoa, wait a minute. Jared McClure is second.
So the sneaky snake.
Wow.
His sneaky
Where
snake
did he come
thing.
from? I don't even see him. That's crazy. I mean, that's the beauty of this. I mean, it's hard from a camera standpoint. I know our camera guys are doing a great job of keeping up with this, but even for them or for me watching what they're pointing at right now, it's a little bit tough.
So that was McGill back there, the number 5 spot, I believe he's taken.
So we got Bryson Neal out front, Jared McClure in second, Walker Fowler in third, Cole Richardson in fourth, Chris Borich in fifth. So Richardson in that exchange, we saw that those guys getting out of the pits must have gotten around Chris Borch on that one, so he gets up to 4th. Adam McGill in 6th place. So we did see McGill down there, but he was a couple of spots down. I mistakenly thought that McGill was Borch, but that was Borch in the number 3 pit.
Yeah.
For what? But anyway, regardless of where my memory is, I got excited. I just got really excited there for a minute. That was a pretty heated pit stop right there. Landon Wolf, you're down there in that area, buddy. If you can give us a little bit of an update on what's going on, kind of the fever and the atmosphere that's taking place. There's Hunter Hart. He's in, he's out. That was Mama Amy. She filled him up with gas. Nothing really big there. They were looking at a few things, but you notice how much mud was on that four-wheeler?
Oh, yeah. I was curious to see if they would get anything else for Hunter outside of just fuel and goggles. But, yeah, seemed to be a routine pit stop, so maybe just not the best first couple of laps for him.
Well, that was Wesley Wolf we were watching there in the pits, fresh off of a top 5 finish in AMA Pro ATV racing at Kemp, Texas Underground Motocross Park last weekend. Back at it here in South Carolina this weekend, doing the Woods thing. And right now, your leader, Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, and, of course, Walker Fowler in that number 3 spot. Here comes Hunter Hart. He'll be checking in for his now. I think that's going to be his 7th place position, if I'm not mistaken. McGill is checked in. And get this, Adam McGill is 6. Hunter Hart is 7. How long was it between times before we saw Hunter Hart in the pits? It was a 44-second gap between 6th and 7th at the end of lap 1. At the end of lap 2, a minute and 47 seconds is the gap.
Whoa.
So, wow, there is a big something really separating those riders right there at that particular point. And, you know, we also, and I'll tell you, the big point here for Hunter Hart is he didn't get, there's so much going on out there, he didn't get a chance to latch on to anyone.
Yeah.
And he couldn't make that grade and take that ride with everyone up front. And our producer just keeps saying, man, things are so messed up. Things are so messed up.
Chaos.
It's chaos because there's so much going on out. And he doesn't mean that in a negative way. He just means this is a really wild
It's been out of the
race.
ordinary for sure.
Yeah, and different leaders, lead changes. Walker falling from 1st to 6th, back up to 1st, now back down to 3rd. He's right there in the thick of the meat of things. And we're not even halfway through this race yet. We're just now approaching the halfway point at 54 minutes. By the way, we got AJ here with us from Monster Energy tonight. Going to be doing the performance on stage with the Monster Energy stage. We're going to be talking with them here in just a few moments. But again, yeah, Mikey, back to this. I mean, it's just crazy what we're looking at. And again, by crazy, I mean just wild and exciting.
Boy, now we're starting to see a little bit of a gap close there between Bryce and Neal in 2nd place now as they enter the Monster Mile there. It wasn't near the gap we saw in the FMF PowerPoint there on lap number 2.
Wow.
Slowly closing that gap. They're not, it's not tight racing, but none of these gaps, well, that's a bigger gap right there, but none of these gaps are insurmountable.
It's not that wheel-to-wheel type racing that oftentimes we see, but they're tight enough that any miscues, mistakes is allowing opportunity for passes and changes out there. And it sounds like we might have Landon Wolf standing by down the pits. Landon, what's going on, buddy?
They had some confusion on the first lap. I know some of the riders out there are definitely a little shaken up about it because they obviously aren't in the pits and aren't able to hear what actually is going on. But people are still moving along. I know those front couple guys got a pretty big lead, it looks like, from down here in the pits. And I know Bryson's crew down there on the end is pretty stoked about him being out in the lead this early.
No doubt about that, and rightfully so. Now let's check in with the overall. Remember, a lap ago, we were looking at this, and they pointed out, let's recap that real quick, Mikey.
Yeah.
A lap ago, we were watching, the XC1 guys were coming through. You had all that, everything seemed to be kosher. Walker Fowler was out front, and all the guys were nose to tail. And then all of a sudden, XC1 comes in. XC2, John Galata comes in first. Then in 2nd place, XC2. 3rd place, XC2. 4th place, XC2. 5th place, XC2.
Yeah.
And we began to wonder at that point, what the
heck's going on?
Yeah. So, and then you hear out there that there was an issue.
Yeah, it did sound like, at least the report we got, unofficial obviously, but it sounds like those top 5 guys in the XC2 after their start got off track, followed some arrows for the AM race from this morning instead of the PM race, and that's what resulted in their times being so much faster on lap number 1. I got to think, looking at timing and scoring now, they've got everything adjusted. So I would say how we stand right now in the top 20 is exactly how it is.
I would have to agree with you there. And let's take a look at this top 20 right now. Again, it's unofficial, but we're going to say it's as official as it gets right now. Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, Walker Fowler, Cole Richardson, Chris Sports. That was your top 5 that checked in. Adam Gill was 6. Then Ben Kowalewski would be 7th place overall. He is the leader now of the XC2 Pro-Am. John Glotta, who is 2nd in that class, is 8th overall. Hunter Hart, 9th overall. He's XC1 Pro Class rider. XC2 3rd place and 10th overall. Is Tanner Walker. Then we have Matt Lindell. And Lindell is 11th overall and 4th in class. And real quick here, our XC2, I think that's Ronnie Rush, still rounding out the top 5, and he's 15th overall. Something to point out, Kevin Yoho, leader of the Vet A30 Plus class right now. Look at where he's at in the overall after 2 laps of racing. The 542 of Yoho is 14th place overall, a Vet A30 Plus class rider.
He's got to feel good about that.
He does. And, you know, some people might look back and say, well, he's a former pro class rider. Yeah, he used to race pro, but he hasn't raced pro at a competitive level for the last few seasons. Now, he's come out and he's dabbled in a couple of rounds here and there, but to say that he was training and that's what he was doing and he was focused on that, no, that's not the case. This is just pure raw talent. I don't even know that Kevin, that he's even really doing any training right now. He's a coal miner by trade, so I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of time to train at this. He's just coming out and having some fun is what he's doing.
The one guy not happy about that is Papa P.
Big Papa P. No, actually, I think he is.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He doesn't like to lose by no stretch of the imagination, but it also takes some heat off him, and it also gives him something to strive for, something to work for. But we're starting to see a lot of that. You know, like we said, James Green, one of those riders in that class. A few other riders that we've seen move into that class. Roman Brown. Wow. Roman Brown's racing XC2 this weekend?
I guess so, yeah.
You don't know Roman Brown,
I do not.
Wow, Roman was...
Not personally.
Roman was an up-and-coming racer. I think after the college class, he just kind of faded away. He was one of those riders where he was a prodigy, so to speak. We expected huge and monumental things out of him. He was right there on the cusp of it all, and then just never showed back up.
Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, but he's now got one of the greatest training programs out there, so we talked to him about it last week. I'm just glad to see him back out there on the track. That is great to see him back out there. So good news for him. Now, 16 minutes for our leaders to do in for lap 3. We are 1 hour into this one. Pit stops have already been afforded these riders. Starting to do some math now. Lap time's just under the 25-minute mark. If we went 2 more laps, that would put us at somewhere in the neighborhood of about the an hour and 50-minute mark, so we might be able to get away with a 4-lap race. I don't know if the 2-lap board was put out this time or not. Maybe Adam, our producer, can check the start line to see for sure. No, the 2-lap board was not put out, so this could be a 3-lap race. And we've been seeing that a lot here lately, where the races have actually been going a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. This would be a perfect round to do it in, because we don't have the e-mountain bike races afterwards. And if we went over a few extra minutes, the track crew wouldn't be under any stress, but it would certainly afford the race fans here a whole lot of fun. But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter. The last couple of races, we still went long. It still went long the last couple of races, Mike. Even with EMTB racing going on, you'd think, okay, well, they're going to try. But no, there is a rule that we have set, and if they don't come in by certain times, then they have to go another lap. And that might be. And we have fuel mileage has been a big issue this year.
Oh, big time. Yeah, that.
We saw it in Florida. We saw
round 1? Yeah, that was nuts.
And
between Bryson and who else did that? Oh, Cole Richardson. That's who it was.
Yeah, I mean,
made Cole's day, ruined Bryson's day.
Yeah, and if Landon, if you can shut your mic, the power of your mic off, we got a little bit of static coming through our headphones right now on that end of things. Would be greatly appreciated. But right now, Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, Walker Fowler, Cole Richardson, Chris Porch, your top 5. That is XC1 as well. As we go to XC2, again, Kowalewski, John Glotta, Tanner Walker, 1, 2, and 3. Matthew Lindell in 4th. Ronnie Rush in 5th. Jordan Paplatsky in 6th. Drew Landers in 7th. Now, Drew's been a rider that's been running up front. He might have not made that turn that everybody else made, so he's back in 7th place. I'm not saying that he did or didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wyatt Wilkin in 8th aboard the 621. 25 of Brody Livingood is 9th, and Steve Covert rounds out your top 10. And I would have to assume if the whole class didn't make that same mistake, there probably will be some penalty imposed, but we won't see it until after the race, and we'll know about it, and we'll know whether or not there is any penalty. And there may not be a situation where penalty is warranted either. I mean, there's no sense in jumping to any conclusions. A lot of things can happen on the GNCC trail out there. Just a real quick looking back in College A class, Walraven, AB, and Noah Mickelson now the 3rd place. So the motocrosser, actually he was running 2nd, I think, last time around. So he's dropped to 3rd place. Cameron AB has moved up into 2nd. Now Cameron is one of those riders here in this college class. You have to know, Mikey, that he sees a moto guy come in and start stealing the thunder. That's got to be something.
That's got to hurt a little bit.
It's got to hurt. It's got to be inspirational, you would think, as well. So Noah Mickelson back in 3rd. Hayden Mickelson in the number 4 spot. That was at the end of lap number 1, and at the end of lap 2, it is Nicholson and Davis Brinson rounding out the top 5. So we have our top 5 College A riders in for 2 laps complete. Let's see about Junior A. Luke Shepard is in. Now Luke got the whole shot, dropped to 3rd. Now Luke is back out front in this one. 6.8 seconds ahead of Michael McAvoy. I think Luke was second whenever he came through at the end of lap 1. Levi Cohen up from 5th into 3rd now. Bruce Weiland in 4th and Nick Davidson in 5th as we go to our track map now here on RacerTV.com. We're waiting on our leaders to check in here any moment. And according to this, okay, yeah, the guys where you see the little arrows or those little markers, that's our leaders out there. And they're heading up to the red dot, which is our camera shot. So we're going to get a full disclosure of who it is at mile marker number 5. Last check, it was Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, Walker Fowler, Cole Richardson, and Chris Borich. And we're going to find out right now, Mikey Waynes, when they come through here any moment at mile marker number 5, who is leading, how far ahead they are, and what kind of pressure they're under.
They must be close because this rider here looked over his shoulder saying, okay, I might need to move out of the way here in a second.
Well, if you had 5 riders, 5 machines that sounded like that rolling up behind you, it sounded like a storm rolling in someplace out west, I think I'd be finding some higher ground myself. Yep. Or as they say out in the west, out west, I'd be headed for the cellar. There's a storm brewing out here. Big storm coming. And that's our 5 riders in our XC1 Pro class right now. 5.5 mile marker. Again, Neal, McClure, Fowler, Richardson, and Borich. And Adam McGill not too far off that. He's 7 seconds behind those guys. We do see that gap. It went from like the top 5 were like
here we
5
go.
seconds
Oh,
apart.
man.
Oh.
Look at that. It looks like.
That looks like Fowler.
Neal is still out in front, right?
Yes, I believe
that's the number 4 machine.
Oh,
come on, camera. Don't cut out on us. But, boy, those gaps are certainly closing up now.
I think McClure in there, too. I seen Walker, but I don't know if there was some lap traffic in amongst that also because it looked like there was a lap rider in there, too. So we're going on the assumption it's still McClure, Fowler, Richardson, and Borich right now, although did you see Borich come through in that mix? That might have been Borich in that mix.
Yeah, I think he was right in there right when the camera paused on us.
So missing a few riders due to some unfortunates, but nonetheless, we got a general idea of how things are shaping up here, so we know kind of what's going on. And, wow, what a day. I mean, this is not at all what I expected. Now, last year, I would have expected this.
Yeah.
Last year, I would have expected this. This year, I don't expect. Well, I tell you what, we got Landon Wolf in the pits right now. He's down with one of the Land Mills XC representative who is, I think, there with Drew Landers. Let's see what's going on.
Guys, I'm down here with Chris Neal, Bryson Neal's dad. I know we talked earlier this year in Georgia. Bryson was struggling with starts a little bit. Looks like you guys got that figured out, and good start today. It seems to be working out. What do you think?
The special air that I put in them tires is very well working.
Yeah, no, it seems to be working pretty good. He was up front early on, but ended up making his way into the lead and seems to be running strong. You think it's something he can hold on to? You think he's got the conditioning? Is he ready for this?
He is. He definitely is. He's been working for this the last 3 weeks. He's put everything else aside and pretty well had some help from some other outside people, and between him and all the other inside, it's starting to really come together.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryson Neal got 1 win last year, and I'm sure he's looking for a second win this year. Today could be the day we hope to see up there in the center of the podium.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, pretty interesting stuff, no doubt about it. Bryson Neal out front of part of the Land Mills XC team along with Drew Landers. I don't know why I didn't recognize that, but yeah, he's the leader out front.
Yeah.
Of course we're going to talk to him. The special air in the tires, is it going to carry him? That's C. Neal Air. They got canned air,
Oh,
C.
yeah.
Neal. They're going to be marketing that soon. You can see it looks like it's going to take Bryson Neal to a possible win. I tell you what, folks, stick around. See if it's going to work out for him. GNCC Live continues right after this.
The action is just heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay with us. Live action on RacerTV.com.
Your bearings shoulder the burden whenever you tow, haul, or stomp the gas. AMSOIL delivers powerful protection for bearings and other critical components so you can drive with confidence. To demonstrate, an independent lab put AMSOIL synthetic motor oil head-to-head against a leading competitor in a 100,000-mile test. AMSOIL provided far superior wear protection and kept engine bearings looking like new. Get your truck the protection it deserves at amsoil.com/auto.
I'm a junior pro surfer from Maui, Hawaii. I actually tried to homeschool in 8th grade and just didn't meet my needs. I came to On Track in 9th grade, and from the beginning I really liked it.
The mission at On Track School is to make academic success completely possible for each and every student while they're out pursuing their personal goals.
Everything is just super easy with On Track. I get to take my computer on the road whenever I need to. It makes it very easy for me to get all my work done.
If you're looking for a program that provides flexibility and a program that you can take anywhere that fits your lifestyle, then On Track is for you. So come check us out at ontrackschool.com and go get it.
The halfway point is here, and these riders have endured over an hour now of hard battling through the woods at extremely high heart rates, the type the average athlete couldn't even fathom for this level of distance. Can they stick with it to the end? Don't click that X. GNCC Live on RacerTV.com continues after this. Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2019 Yamaha YZ250F is available at LoJack Cycle Sales, alongside the all-new YZ65 and YZ85, and refined YZ450F. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
And welcome back to GNCC Live from Society Hill, South Carolina for the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC as we started out this morning our 8 a.m. youth race. as always, really a barn burner as far as I'm concerned. We've seen the last few rounds some really good stuff. Riders coming from behind, Damian Hawkins. But Damian got out front earlier today, and then he was chased down by Bryce Husband, and Husband was all over the rear wheel of him. But at the checkers, it was Damian Hawkins taking the win in this morning's youth race.
I had a decent start. I didn't get to start the quad, but I did go in the woods about third or fourth. I got around Bryce, then Paxton. Then me and Parker went for about half a lap. I got around him, started riding my race. About second lap, 2 more laps to go, we ran into a bottleneck, and Bryce helped me get out of the ditch. Then I started my quad because I had a line to get out of it. So then me and him battled for about half a lap until he flipped, and I just rode the rest of the race.
Wow, how about it for those boys, man? You talk about a battle, dude. Those guys went at it. Damian, I've seen Damian. He's had to come back and chase down Bryce and pass him, and he's got a couple wins by doing it that way. Today, he got out front earlier, and I saw Bryce. I thought that maybe the shoe was on the other foot today whenever I saw him on that last lap. They were literally nose to tail out here on the trail.
I got to hand it to both of them. They said they got caught up in a bottleneck toward the end of the last lap, and Damian was stuck. Bryce Husband came up behind him. He was stuck. Bryce helped Damian get out, and then they both took off. Heck of a race, and hats off to both of them.
Yeah, no doubt. Good job. And, that guy right there came from those ranks, believe it or not. Walker Fowler, I believe. Was that him out front again? And that is Walker Fowler back out there in that number 1 position. So he's got himself in line for possibly
how about it?
Win number 49 here. Look at that. There's Chris Borich, GNCC's most win record title holder there with 74. He might be trying to sniff this one down and try to race Walker Fowler heads up here to keep him from getting that 49 and tying an old buddy of his, Barry Hawk, out there. That's third place ride. That is the number 4, Bryson Neal.
So Bryson Neal drops back a couple.
Drops from first to third place position. And notice not only did he drop back, but there's a bit of a gap between these riders. When we saw them a little while ago, Mikey, they were so much tighter. So there's something separating these riders out here on this race course. There's the Land Mills XC. Now, maybe he needs to get some of that fresh Chris Neal air in those tires.
And now McGill moves into the number 4 spot. So McGill moves up. He was back in, maybe 5th. So moves up.
Well, actually, he was.
Was he in 6th?
Yeah,
so maybe he's moved up a couple spots.
He was 6th place and was running about 7.5 seconds behind Borich. So the big question right now, where's McClure and where's Cole Richardson? Now, those are 2 riders that I have not seen go through yet.
I haven't either.
We have not. So we've lost a couple of these riders, and things are starting to stretch out. You have to wonder, you mentioned a bottleneck in the youth race.
Said it too soon. Maybe there was one here in the pro race this afternoon.
And look at this track. It's very sandy out there. This. I was talking with a couple of riders. They said the consistency of the sand's probably more like Florida, especially Bryson Neal said it more like the Florida race than any other race in Florida throughout the season with this sand. The moisture in the dirt, we weren't real sure how it was going to stack up. But, man, looking at this moto track and some of the places we've seen, this track is getting rough.
Yeah.
You can see what they're talking about, the sand mountain. In the wetter sections, it's kind of, I guess train tracking around through there. But in the drier sections, it's loose. This track's got a lot of variety to it.
Yeah, that was one of the things Landon Wolf actually said yesterday. I was asking about, this track, he said, when it rains here, you can't find the bottom here in South Carolina. There's no bottom. Yeah. It just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. So, we've had a few spotty showers today. Yesterday we got an absolute downpour for maybe off and on for a half an hour to an hour or so. Different track than these ATVs have had in the years past.
So we see Walker Fowler going through. There's Chris Borich going through. Also we see, and we should be seeing Walker Fowler here at the finish line here in just mere moments. Is that the 520? Was that?
I think that was the number 2. That might have been McClure.
So maybe we missed him there a few moments ago, and that might put now the 521 into the number 4 spot instead of the number 3 spot. 2-lap board is coming out. Look at this track. These riders
ripping.
Yeah, they are ripping. Now, did you notice the first turn? I love the way those guys were
this
in.
start. Please, Jared Bolton, Ryan Eccles, guys, keep this start for next year. That was awesome.
I'm gonna tip my hat to Alan Bruto.
Oh, really?
Alan Bruto made the call. He said, "Guys, he said,
it was
over here is where we
awesome.
need to do the start." They had the start the same place they had it last year. He said, "No, you guys
Let's
come
move
over here
it.
and look at this."
They
went over and looked at it, and man, what a home run they
Yeah,
hit, no
that
doubt.
was definitely a home run.
All right, so we're checking in, and this is the way things are starting to break down, guys. After now 3 laps of racing complete, this will be a 5-lap race, so 2-lap board is out. Walker Fowler, Chris Borge, there are 13 seconds that separate them. Cole Richardson, I didn't even see him, only a second behind Chris Borge. And there's Jared McClure, 7.6 seconds back, so wow. And he's ahead of Bryson Hill, who's 5th now, so that right there explains quite a bit. But again, these guys are spread out. They're not the nose to tail that we were looking at. And some of those riders, they literally look like some lap traffic out there, the way that they were rolling out there. I don't know whether they were just letting other guys go by and trying to latch on. You're faster, go ahead. But they look like lap riders letting each other go by out there. So that's why I got maybe a little confused. There's McGill now, so he's in the 6th place position, so there's no change for McGill. He's still in that number 6 spot. We thought he was up to 4th place, but we hadn't seen Richardson, we hadn't seen McClure, but they were between Borge and Neal. Those were the 2 right. I don't know. I didn't see him, but none of us saw him.
Yeah.
I mean, producers. So they just kind of incognito, man. They kind of
Sneaky Snake has got a partner in crime. This week.
He does. Yes, he does. Sneaky Snake is rubbing off out there. It looks like on the coal train. Well, the train might have had a whole different line through there too. You never know.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. So,
well, 2-lap board is out in this one right now, and wow, what an amazing race we've had here at Society Hill in this Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. I mean, just an amazing place, no doubt, Mikey Waynes. As we look at this facility, we look at the nostalgia and the history that is here, it's just blows me away, to be honest with you.
Hey, this is Garrett with CST Tires. We're here at every single GNCC race, but we're the title sponsor for Camp Coker Bullet Rounds. We're excited to be here. We got a lot of sponsored riders here. We're excited to see them throughout the day. We got mounting going on over there. We mount tires, balance tires. If it's a CST tire, we do it for free, but we'll do any other tire for $15. So we're excited to be able to come out here and be a part of that. We got some of our tires on display back here. Yeah, so we just like meeting people, meeting racers, and kind of helping them out with anything that they need, any questions that they have, and we're hoping to see a lot of action here today. If you guys want to come on down, we're selling a lot of tires today at really good prices, much better than dealer level, so we're hoping to hook you guys up with some tires. Also, we've got contingency plans going for anyone racing our tires. Have some decals on your vehicle, and we will give you a contingency form, and we'd love to reward you for representing our tires and having a podium finish. We love supporting our riders, sponsored or non-sponsored. We would love to meet everyone, and if you guys have any needs for tires, please come down, see us, get some CST tires today.
Mechanic of the Week feature there, and of course CST Tires being the title sponsor here are a lot of people's mechanics whenever you come down to at least their tire mechanics.
For sure.
Make sure they got the right choices. I think Landon needs to turn his mic off.
Something.
We got some
he
major
texted me
static
earlier.
from
He's like,
his
hey,
head.
my
I
mic's
can't
not
even
on.
hear Mikey. So, all right now, okay, there we go. I can hear now. All right, reassessing the situation here. We've got a lot going on. Remember, we had those XC2 guys, and again, we're still in question on what's going on with the XC2, but right now, Ben Kowalewski just checked in with 3rd lap complete and the lead. He had an 11-second lead over John Glotta the lap before, and that means, and there he is checking in now, 31 seconds back in second place in the XC2 Pro-Am class is John Glotta Jr. Man, what is going on with Ben Kowalewski today? This kid is on rails. He is on fire. He is not going to be denied, it doesn't appear.
We've been wondering all season long who was going to step up and try to take that top spot away from John Glotta Jr. Well, we're doing a good job at it.
Well, Ben Kowalewski, yeah, no doubt. I mean, and he's a kid, and not taking anything away from him, but he's not the kid or necessarily the talent that I expected to do it, at least at this particular point, you know? And that's good. That means that Ben, flying under the radar, has been working hard to get to where he is. He's on the radar now.
Yeah.
And definitely on John Glotter's radar. There's no doubt about it. It may have been before this race, too. Because Kowalewski has really shown some major steps of improvement here in 2019. Not that he was bad or anything in the past, but what I'm saying is he stepped it up a level. And certainly, obviously, to lead this XC2 Pro-Am class like this, you have to be on a whole different level. I mean, it's a level just below being an XC1 Pro class rider that runs up front. It's what these guys in the XC2 Pro-Am class are running at right now. Third place position, we're looking for Tanner Walker and then Matt Lindell. I have to think, though, I have to wonder. But looking at lap times and previous to that, Walker still had a little faster lap time. But I have to think Lindell's one of those late race chargers. I'm wondering if maybe he isn't starting to put some stuff together and going to be a threat for a top 3 position. The gap really opening up here, 1 minute and 34 seconds, but it's Walker still holding on to the third place position and still no sign of Matt Lindell checking in that XC2 Pro-Am class yet. So I'm going to wait for this, and then I want to go in and check in with the top 5 on these other classes as we are in the home stretch. And right now, still, there's Jordan Poplatsky checks in 4th place. Matt Lindell has dropped out of the top 4 spot in the XC2 Pro-Am, so we got changes taking place there. What does that mean for Ronnie Rush? Because Ronnie Rush was running 5th. He would have dropped down to at least a 6th place position in that class. So Poplatsky, another rider on the move right now, Kowalewski and Poplatsky really are, I think, starting to make some waves out here. And I've been noticing them more and more, but I have to admit, a little surprised they're doing it here in the sands of South Carolina today, though.
I got to say, like, taking a look at the XC2 Pro-Am class, I see those top, honestly, there's 7 guys there. Well, 8? I'm counting 8 that I think could really come out and win any race. It's a pretty deep class.
It is. And a lot of these guys, I talked about the College A class. A lot of these guys are graduates from last year's College A class, and that's one of the things that gets me so amped up about College A racing. And speaking of which, I'm sure we'll get some lowdown on here in a few moments. But there's Matt Lindell. He is in he was the last rider checking in if you're down at the finish line on that 303 machine out of Iowa to round out your top 5 in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Now back down to that College A class we were talking about. They're due in about 6 minutes. Walraven, Avey, Nicholson, and Brinson, your top 5 in those. So we'll give those guys a few minutes before we come back and see how that's all starting to break down. As far as the overall goes right now, it is Fowler, Borich, Richardson in 3rd, McLaurin 4th, Bryson Neal in 5th, 6th is Adam McGill, Ben Kowalewski in 7th, Hunter Hart in 8th, John Glotta in 9th, and Wesley Wolf rounds out the top 10. So Ben Kowalewski, you can't take anything away from this kid today at all, because now that he's up front, he is really starting to command the position quite handily, I think. And not only that, I mean, running in that adjusted time, a 7th place position for Kowalewski. Not saying it's not something he could have done in the past, but really things have fallen in line, fallen in place. This is the race where we finally meet this guy and we see what he's capable of. And this is the first of many meetings, I'm quite sure.
I think you're exactly right. To reach that point in the season where, all right, the start of the season jitters are over. Time to start seeing who's going to do what for the rest of the year as we get into the meat of the season.
No doubt. And it looks like these guys are doing just that. It takes some riders a couple of races to get the race legs under them. They come in with a lot of anxieties, a lot of hype maybe on themselves, and maybe start out behind the 8 ball. And once they settle in, get a little bit angry, upset with themselves, and or just settle down and say, okay, this is the way it is. And they go out and start having fun, and all of a sudden the rider
things start clicking.
Then the rider they know they are and can be, it starts showing through to everybody else too. So XC2 Pro-Am, Drew Landers up to 6th now. Landers was back in 8th. Wyatt Wilkin is 7th. Ronnie Rush has dropped off to the 8th spot. Brody Livingood, Stevie Colbert running 9th and 10th right now in XC2 Pro-Am. Junior A. Remember last time we looked at that, Luke Shepard, Michael McAvoy, Levi Cohen, and Bruce Weiland and Chandler Berner, your top 5 in that one. Looking down through the list of names, riders I expect to maybe be challenging toward the end of the race include the 991 of Jeremy Ladon. He's in 8th place right now. 317, Alex Elioff, I believe, is another rider out of Valley City, Ohio. He's back in 7th place position. Another rider I think we should keep an eye on for this Junior A 22-plus classes. The battling wears on. Sounds like things are happening down in the pits. Cool things are happening anyway. And we've got Mark Notman standing by for an interview.
Guys, we don't have any sound. Hello? Hello? Don't have anything. This is Mark Notman. Mark had a good start, was in the lead. I know we had some mix-ups there early on in the first lap, and then even after that, Walker dropped that back to maybe 3rd or 4th place, and Bryson seemed to be really putting the hammer down, but came through the last lap. Walker's back in the lead. Do you have any idea what's happening?
I don't know. All I know is when Walker come in the pit, he said he wasn't doing very well. So apparently whatever it was, he's got it out of his system, and yeah, he's back up front. I think it was about a 13-second lead. So hopefully we can keep that little gap. I think we're going to stop and splash for gas here the last lap and see if we can bring it home.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit confusion, but Walker seems like he's worked through it. Looking for another win, four in a row. I mean, that's what we're shooting for, right?
Yeah, definitely 4 in a row, and you know he wants that win number 49 to tie Barry's record. So hopefully we can get it done today.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of racing left, so we'll see what goes on. I know it's been a heck of a race today, but Walker's in the driver's seat right now, so we'll keep watching and see how it all unfolds.
Thanks a lot, Landon. And I have to think, the way it sounds over there in the Walker Fowler pits, the win's cool. It's not the fact that it's a win. It's number 49. Yeah. It's number 49. It ties Barry Hawk. That's what they're excited about right now. And that may be what's running in the back of Walker's mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, even a seasoned veteran champ like Walker Fowler can let little things like that start to weigh heavy on their mind a little bit.
How about that? Barry Hawk retired, still making XC1 riders nervous.
That's pretty funny. That is. And, you know, it was cool. Barry Hawk's doing the EMTB racing now, doing the electric mountain bike racing. He and his son, Talon, who's never raced an ATV, never raced a motorcycle, at least in GNCC competition. I think he's done some local stuff at home. Just never got into the motorcycle or ATV, but loves the bicycle, loves the EMTB racing. And he and Barry, I think they've got something personal against each other. I mean, Barry's running like the amateur class and schoolboy, whatever class name that Talon's in, youth class or whatever, but they're racing each other for the. What's going on out here now?
It's getting a little squirrely. Good GNCC racing on camera right now.
But look at that moto track. I mean, you tell me that is not. We need to have a motocross track.
It's pretty solid.
That somebody needs to come down here and put a motocross track on. And wow, that is such a. I mean, you do not have many facilities like this.
It's funny, the motocross track, for the ATV guys, it seems like some guys really embrace it. They love it. Other guys, you can see them when they rip through, they're just like, get me off this motor. Get me back in the woods right now.
I can only imagine watching an AMA Pro ATV motocross race here. This track would be just...
Oh, phenomenal.
Oh, it would be. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Where you at, Joel Hetrick?
Yeah. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to see him out there today. Now, Joel's supposed to be doing some GNCC stuff this year, but... he's also trying to win back the AMA Pro ATV National Championship title. So, things are going pretty doggone well for him right now. And the team has elected, okay, let's just forego it. Let's just see what happens. I know it's just for fun, but at the same time, we need to keep you healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to get another national championship for Factory Honda out there. So that's what they're working on making happen here. So Joel's not out here for GNCC, but he's got some teammates that are, and be looking for Joel Hetrick at the end of the season. He will be coming back after ATV Moto season has concluded in August. And there's Walker Fowler. Borich in second. Look how close Chris Borich is. There's Cole Train in third, and your fourth place position again is, I believe, McClure now.
That was McClure right there.
But how about this? I mean, last few races, if you watch this, Chris Borich, not that he hasn't had the speed, and if you watch the times, his speeds are pretty close to the guys up front, but he's always gotten separated from those guys, at least these first 3 rounds, gotten separated from the front of the pack at some point, and he got pushed back and had a lot of lost time. Today, the first time we've seen this season, he's right there with Walker Fowler right now, and he is putting himself into position. Now I got to start wondering. We got records, we got history
That's
about
right.
that. Will there be a historical last lap Borich on this one that he might take that one away from Walker Fowler? I mean, he's in that position, and wow, what kind of rabbit out of your hat would that be for Chris Borich?
It's the difference between Borich and Barry Hawk is Borich can still add to his all-time wins. Barry's like, there's nothing I can do about this. So, yeah, Borich, he's still got that opportunity. We saw Bryson Neal coming through there, working his way around a lapper, is giving him some headaches, but hard on the charge trying to catch up to the pace of McClure.
Now, leaders due in for lap 4 complete in less than 9 minutes right now. So we're about probably 40 minutes out, 35, 40 minutes out from a checker flag. And this race being concluded an hour and 31 minutes into it right now. Mikey, I tell you what, a whale of a day. I mean, coming into this one with the way the stage was set, I didn't expect it to pan out like this.
No, I didn't either.
I have
the
to admit,
chaos in the beginning was nuts.
I was starting to fall into the pattern that these guys have pretty much just put themselves in these positions and they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
And I never do that in ATV racing in years past. And I still stand behind what I say. This is going to be the most competitive championship season across the board. Walker Fowler may prove me wrong in this XC1 ATV class, but the rest of the classes, I think. But today, we're starting to see some indications that, hey, as strong as Walker Fowler is, he is still H-U-M-A-N. He is human, my friends.
That's exactly right.
I know that there's some people out there that may not want to hear that. They may not believe that, but he is human. And we're waiting on our XC2 riders to check in with us here right now as we watch. Just to give you a heads up, Luke Shepard, or actually, I'm sorry, that was in the Junior A class. Ben Kowalewski, that's who we're waiting on. Had a 31-second lead, so we're looking for the 2:19, followed in by the 7:12, and then Tanner Walker, the 22, but he was a minute and a half back. But I want to see if Ben Kowalewski is still out front out of Great Bend, Pennsylvania. 26:41 lap time last time around. That was a blistering fast lap. More of our lap riders checking through. Wouldn't call them lap riders, but more traffic checking through on the racetrack. By the way, we got College A riders checking in. Davis Princeton, Brandon Owens. I'm going to check and see how those guys are. They just finished at the finish line. They just went through at the finish line. Dylan Walraven, Cameron Avey, Davis Princeton in third, Brandon Owens in fourth. No sign of Noah Mickelson this time around. Noah vying for one of the early leads.
Oh, this might be Ben on screen here, ripping through there.
Well, let's see here. I believe that you may be right. We're looking for the
It's the 852. I'm not sure.
No, that wasn't him. We're looking for the 219.
852, you were ripping. I know that. Good Lord.
Well, he probably saw the camera, you know what I mean?
It did look like he turned and smiled at the camera. I'm not going to lie. He kind of cocked his head over there.
Got to look fast.
Yeah.
You can putt anywhere around this racetrack, but when you get in a camera shot, is that Noah Mickelson right there by chance?
He was slow after that turn there.
That looked like a Phoenix Racing Honda. We haven't seen Mickelson check in. I don't know. Mickelson still has not checked in the College A class, so I'm thinking that might have been that Phoenix Racing Red Ryder Honda we've seen out there and from that College A class, and that looks like, I don't know if it's a mechanical or rider issue, but that looked maybe like he might have sucked some water or something in that. And hey, he's a motocrosser. Maybe he don't know how to prepare for weather conditions. I don't know, but he's got a good team behind him.
Oh, for sure.
These guys are really coming into this one. If you go down into the Honda pits down there, I mean, they take this stuff very serious, and they haven't had a factory ATV effort in a long time. And even though they don't have a pro factory effort going on, they are here, they are dabbling, and they are making a presence right now. Just like Yamaha.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Yamaha, if you have not tried out the new Viking, you know the Vikings that we have that the crew uses? They're fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're very handy in the utility-wise.
Yes, very.
Get down there and ride one of those. They've got demo rides going on. They've got demo rides for the Yamaha pedal assist bikes. They've also got demo rides for Specialized. Heck yeah, they've got a load of bikes down there for you to check out. Demos available everywhere around here. Take advantage of all in bicycles, side-by-sides, you name it. You can certainly walk away with a different perspective of what these guys are going through out here. And maybe walk away with wanting something new whenever you got your next birthday or Christmas or anniversary present picked out.
One of my best friends at home just bought a Yamaha side-by-side, and I'm like, oh, boy, well, I guess maybe that's going to be
But
nice.
here's the funny thing. I took a Yamaha pedal assist home, and I had a neighbor, buddy of mine about 26 years old, rode the thing, and, oh, man, he was trying to beat my top speed, which was the amount of hours that was on the bike, had left on the bike, and he thought it was a top speed, so he was going as hard as he could.
Oh, my goodness.
Looking down, he wiped it out, destroyed the bike. I mean, I'm like, oh, my God, that's a loaner bike. There's John Glotta Jr. in second. So what happened to our leader out here?
I'm guessing he had to have come through because there was a pretty good little gap. What was it, 30-some seconds?
Yeah, Cal.
Maybe not. So maybe we still keep our eyes open for the 219.
Nonetheless, I was saying about the pedal assist bike. He crashed it. He's still buying one.
Perfect. Good. That's how it works.
But Ben Kowalewski, we expected to be up front, but we just saw John Glotta go through. And this wouldn't surprise me to see Glotta.
Oh, for sure.
Because as much as we've seen things happen, look at this. We see some soft areas. If you pan back to the right, we see that nice big silty sand, those big berms and stuff building. But off to the right there in some of those lower lying areas, there's some wet areas out there. And there's some lower areas out there. So there might be some people getting stuck. Alternate lines starting to open up, just crazy things that are going on out there that kind of lend themselves to the changes that we may be seeing here toward the end of the race.
Yeah.
Another thing, rough racetrack. Conditioning is going to be imperative here. An hour and a half, that's what you can run at peak level without really tapping into too much. So if those guys haven't figured out how to tap into that extra energy reserve, this next lap and a half, lap and a third for riders is going to be a long road to hoe.
That is exactly right.
There is Walker Fowler making his way onto the moto track, your leader now as he maintains the number one position here, looking for win number 49, trying to tie Barry Hawk in that all-time wins record book. And right behind him is the all-time wins leader at 74 in Chris Borch.
There's something you don't see often. Walker Fowler looking over his shoulder.
Back at Chris Borch.
Yeah, exactly.
Of all people. I mean, that was Chris Borch within 5 bike lengths, 10 bike lengths, within striking distance of Walker Fowler there just a moment ago. So that's pretty impressive stuff that you see happening here in XC1 action. An hour and 39 and a half minutes into this race now. We're approaching the hour and 40-minute mark. These guys are due in a minute and 45 seconds. So at this point, we know that we are short. If they were to have thrown the checker flag, we'd been 3 or 4 minutes short of a full race. So they've got to go another lap, Mikey Wayne.
And didn't Mark Notman say they'd be getting a splash of fuel this lap? So we got pits
Walker is going to be getting a splash of fuel. That leads to the question whether or not anyone else is going to do it. And that leads back to questioning the fact of the fuel mileage this year. Folks are using a little more fuel than what they have in seasons past. And I don't know what these guys are, but I would almost have to think everybody would probably want to play it safe.
I would think so. I tell you, I guarantee you who gets a splash of fuel. Bryson Neal.
Bryson Neal.
I guarantee
his dad will tackle him off that clock and make sure he takes a splash of fuel.
Yep.
Because his dad wears that guilt still to this day after round one, and that running out of gas a half mile from the checker flag, a half mile. I mean, his dad had it pretty figured out. Maybe Bryson took a little extra longer lines. Maybe it's Bryson's fault. Maybe it's not his dad. His dad had it figured out to the T. That's what it was. We're gonna take Chris off the hot seat on that one. But no, I tell you, it's a risk, it's a gamble, and sometimes you got to take it. And that was one that certainly wasn't worth it. It didn't pay the dividends that they'd hoped that it would in the end. But today, I'm sure there's not much reason to risk it, gamble.
McGill working through the motocross track. Now, did I hear correctly that he might be going to Ironman Motocross?
Yeah, he was talking to me. He said he's been going to so many different places, doing so many things. He's got a new tire sponsor. Over Tires, I think, is the name of them. They're not really based here in the United States. They're like a European company or something like that. So they're trying to establish some foothold in. Landon Wolf, who is one of our co-announcers, he's also sponsored by those guys. It's cool to see new companies coming into the GNCC racing world like that. There's Walker Fowler getting that splash of gas. Daddy Dan right there. Bam, bam. Fresh goggles, fresh water. He's in, he's out. That right there looked like clockwork.
Yeah, it looked like about maybe a 1.5, 2 second gap in between those guys getting out of there.
Well, there's Landon.
Landon pulling double duty.
Yeah, was he helping in that pit stop?
It looked like it.
Yeah, folks, we got A.J. Snyder going to be coming into booth. He was here just a little bit ago, but you know what? A.J., I'll tell you what happened. A.J.'s got a job. He's going to be performing tonight as part of the Monster Energy Concert Series here at GNCC Racing. He's kind of a local guy. A.J. Sanders, I'm sorry. And but anyway, A.J. Monster Energy, he's got friends that are racing here today.
Oh, no kidding.
And every time that I've seen A.J., man, this is so cool. This is cool. He said the community here is so great. The racing is so great. White flag is out on this one. Look at that. Nose to tail as they came through.
Oh,
what
this is going to be good, Rodney.
We've got a new fan. A.J.'s got friends racing out here this afternoon. And we've got a barn burner, Chris Forge, in position to quite possibly pull the old one out of the back pocket. Can we see Chris Forge do it? I know it's going to be tough. If it can be done, it's going to be hard to be done on Walker Fowler. He's had that move pulled on him so many times, but Walker learned from that, and he pulled it on people, I'm sure, as well. But here we are, folks. We are 25 minutes out from checkers. Walker Fowler, Chris Forge, 2.2 seconds separating the two. Jared McClure, 13.8 seconds back. It's GNCC's most winning rider right there. Chris Forge chasing down the rider that's looking for a third-place spot in the record books. It would be almost irony if Chris Forge could stop this from happening here today. Post win number 75 and stop Walker's 49th win and keep Barry's record safe for at least one more round.
Here we go.
We got one in the pits. Looks like Josh Merritt not having a day he was looking for. What's going on, Landon?
Hey guys, down here with Josh Merritt. He got pulled in a little bit early. Josh, saw you're off to a little bit of a bad start. I heard you had a good start, kind of went bad quick, but tell us what happened.
Come around the first lap, and it seems like some of the guys in the further back classes missed the corner somewhere, and we were battling with some Vet A guys, and I was like, with Johnny and Cody, I was like, this isn't right, and we just kept pushing, and me and Johnny finally got together, started pulling some people, and went through this one little section, and my chain come up on my chain guide, and it just stopped. It just locked my motor up pretty much. The only way I got back was pull the pin out of the chain. So bad luck again.
Yeah, tough break for Josh. Seems like you were coming back good, strong there at the end of the day. So tough break. There's the chain laying there, but you'll be back ready to go at X Factor, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you then.
Wow, what a heartbreaker. Now, that right there goes to show that was deeper than what we think, Mikey, as far as that blown turn, because when one went, they all went. And there is Josh Merritt's bike. You can see it's taking its toll, the chain laying off to the side. And I got to tip my hat to Josh. He's really been clicking some things up lately, trying little by little. He's not making any monumental gains, but that's the way he wants to do it. Those little baby steps. He's inching his way. He's like Tim Conway in it on the Carol Burnett show. They're moving really, really slow. But he's moving up and moving forward, and that should give him a good firm footing. Unfortunately, today, out a little bit because of that, the incident. You can tell that these riders are a little frustrated by that. I mean, they're back there racing with Vet A guys. Those guys are not,
It sounded like, like you said, it went deeper than we thought. Obviously affected Josh Merritt. Sounded like it affected Johnny G as well.
Right,
so.
and it went in farther than the XC2 class. It went down into the Vet A class at least, which was row number 3. And I don't know if any of the senior A guys got in there or not, but at least the Vet A guys missed it as well. So I would assume that they got it caught before then. Course marshals are pretty wicked on that as far as being able to pick up on stuff and fix it real fast. An hour and 45, working on an hour and 46 minutes into this race. Doesn't matter how long we're into it. We've got some 22 minutes of racing left. Walker Fowler, Chris Forge 1 and 2. Jared McClure about 13 seconds back in third. Then Cole Richardson and Bryson Neal in fourth and fifth. And there's the story. Cole Richardson, man, he's had had some good runs this year, solid runs, but last race I think he had some mechanical issues, kind of takes him out of the hunt for things, and again, back off the radar, it seems like, because you know how it is. You get off that radar, it's hard to get back on it, and Cole's one of those that seems to be blipping off and blipping back on all the time. Bryson Neal, tough break for this rider, man. I mean, that first round, I mean, he was out front. Looked like he had things going here today, going well for him again today. Here he is all the way back into a 5th place position, 1st to 5th. That doesn't seem like a big tumble back, but whenever you're riding and racing at the level, and when you look at the time that was lost, Bryson Neal, 47 seconds behind Cole Richardson, who's another 2.5 seconds behind Jared McClure. So basically what you can say, 1 minute and 2 seconds, Bryson Neal is behind Walker Fowler in that first place position. How you lose 1 minute and 2 seconds in a lap like that, it is very, very tough to know, but there's a lot of things that takes place. There's Hunter Hart in the pits.
Shaking his head.
Shaking his head. Something. He's not, he's
certainly not met his own expectations
No,
today.
I mean, and when you look at this, he's 2 minutes and 31 seconds behind Adam McGill. 7th place is not a bad place for him to be, but Hunter's used to riding with, we're used to seeing him racing with Johnny. We're used to seeing him race with Chris Boritz. We're used to seeing him, some of these guys back here, Adam McGill even, but there's nobody around him. I mean, Hunter Hart is by himself. He had a 15 or 20 second lead on Wesley Wolf, so he had nobody really pushing him.
Yeah.
So
all those guys, it seems that they all have that same mentality. It's harder, it's easier, I guess, to be right behind somebody tailing them as opposed to being out there on an island by yourself. You're thinking, how far am I behind the guy in front of me? How far ahead am I of the guy behind me? Like, I don't know where I'm at. It just plays in your head all day long, and it's clearly affecting Hunter Hart today.
No doubt about that. As we take a look at some of these classes, keep an eye on this screen here, Mikey. I want to update some amateur classes while we go down through. Real quick on the XC2 Pro-Am class, Kowalewski due in anytime. So let's kind of wait here at the finish line before we go into these amateur classes, because I'm really excited to see what's going on with the XC2 Pro-Am class right now. You had Kowalewski and John Glotta. Now, we didn't see Kowalewski go through. That doesn't mean that he didn't. We might have missed him. And then we seen the 712. We did see the 712 of John Glotta going through, but 1 minute and 20 seconds late right now. You have to wonder.
Hardcore Harvey jumping in or checking in right there in the finish line. I think he believes he's in first.
Yeah, he is leading that senior B 40-plus class. He's got the quad cast.
Yeah.
Behind the pro line.
Life behind the pros.
Life behind the pros.
I love that.
I do too. That's pretty great. All right, well, Landon Wolf down in the pits right now. Landon, you hear the excitement in our voices. You know what we're watching for and waiting for. What a crazy day down there, and I'm sure it's been just as wild in the pits.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been a wild day out there on the track, and it's still, we got good racing out there. Pits have been hectic today. I know a lot of people had some confusion early on, but got battles. We're racing to see who can get through the pits the fastest, and from first all the way to 15th, I mean, it's been hectic. So just want to say we're done here in the pits for the day. We're gonna head out on the track and maybe over to the finish line. That way we can get good shots of the finish line, because I think it's going to be a good one today.
No doubt about that, and thanks a lot, Landon Wolf. Congratulations to you on your big win in the 4x4 Pro Class earlier today also, as we're still waiting on XC2 Pro-Am riders to check in, and there he is, 712. It is John Glotta back out front. So we didn't lose Ben Kowalewski. Kowalewski got lost out there someplace, or fell back anyway. So John Glotta turning in a 28:31 lap time that time. Those guys dropped almost 1.5 to 2 minutes on their lap time on that one lap. Man. That's how much they slowed down. That's how I think fatigue is starting. The fatigue is really starting to set in, because I think the conditions of the track, I'm not going to say the track is wasted. I'm not going to make, but what it is, it's become a challenge. It's become the obstacle out there, and you want the racetrack to be an obstacle. And this one certainly is. I mean, not only is the racetrack an obstacle, but you've got riders. And this right here opens the door for different types and styles of riders to do better. Riders that can choose the smooth lines certainly are going to fare well in this one today, I think. All righty, real quick, Pro-Am rider John Glotta checking in. We're still waiting on Kowalewski in second, Tanner Walker in third, Jordan Paplatsky in fourth, and Matthew Lindell in fifth. Let's head on down to the College A class, give you an idea what's going on there as we roll through this final lap. By the way, our leaders for the XC1 and overall due in about 16 minutes, so we got plenty of time to catch back up with these guys here in just a moment. So our College A class heading in to the final laps in this one. Mikey?
I'm getting ready to head down to the finish.
Okay.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
I got Borich and Walker coming through right at the end. Borich is going to pass him right at the last second.
All right, man.
All right, you heard it here first.
I heard it right there first.
Right, we'll see.
I'm not. I have.
I'm just hoping. I just want it to be crazy.
I know. I like to see. I just like to see the old style stuff come back. You know, and taking nothing away from Walker whatsoever. But I'm right there with you, man. I mean, it's just the old school GNCC in me. You want to see stuff like that happen. You know Walker's going to get win 49, but we like to watch that challenge. But Dylan Walraven right now, College A 16-24 leading Cameron Abey, still Davis Brinson in third. Fourth place is Brandon Owens. And Mikey Nichols rounds out the top 5. It does look like Noah Mickelson, the 400, did check in the 6th place position, but that Red Rider, Honda rider, looks like his chances of winning slipping by the wayside today. Big change in the Junior A 22-plus classes. They just checked in a few moments ago for third lap complete. Luke Shepard, who was out front, drops to second. It's Michael McAvoy, the 531, moves into the lead. Luke Shepard, the 44, in second. 31 of Levi Cohen in third. Bruce Weiland, the 203 from Ranshaw, Pennsylvania, is fourth. And Chandler Berner out of Junior West Virginia rounds out your top 5 on the 540 in that Junior A class. The Vet A 30-plus class, Kevin Yoho, who was running in a top 15 position overall earlier in this class. 2 minutes, 36-second lead over Jeff Pickens. Mike Lancaster, the 408, is third. A21, Brad Whitehead out of Reading, Pennsylvania, and fourth. Dirk DeCesar out of Mineral Ridge, Ohio, rounds out your top 5. And real quick, as far as Kevin Yoho right now goes, we still see him and have him scored at 15th overall position with time adjustments heading into the final laps. Senior A class right now, taking a look at that as we continue to watch the moto track here at Camp Coker. It is Brian Shaw, the 828 out of Harrisville, Pennsylvania, leading the 451 of Tom Barrett from Morrisville, New York. 636, Mark Batson out of LaSalle, Michigan, former ATV moto guy and media all-star ride. He's third. Wesley Stone in fourth aboard the 555 from Auburn, PA. Michael Hayes out of Rocky. Dale Batson, by the way, is back in sixth. That is brother of Mark, both coming, as we said, from the moto side of things. College B, 16-21, Dalton Keys leading Grayson Eller. This is a pretty good battle on this one. Eller having some pretty good races the last few rounds. Back in the number 2 spot this time behind Keys, who has a minute and 25-second lead over Eller, the 171 Honda Red Rider. The 929 of Keegan Walker in third. Then in fourth place position, Aaron Greenwell, the 527. And fifth place is Caden Ryan there to round them out. We go next to the Junior B, Justin Eisen leading David Kite. 5 minutes, 22 seconds between those guys. Jonathan Crimebull is third. Jacob Allball, the 402 out of West Milton, Ohio, in fourth. And Nathan Johnson out of Sarasota, Florida, the 414 rounds out the top 5. Senior A class, or Senior B class that we'll take a look at right now, or excuse me, Vet B, I'm sorry, is Corey Tribalock leading the Vet B class over Aaron Hendershot. We were talking about him earlier out of Mansfield, Ohio. A lot of Ohio boys. Actually, our top 4 are all from Ohio. Corey Tribalock out of Niles, Ohio. Aaron Hendershot from Mansfield, Ohio. Pleasant City, Ohio. Cody Stewart, the 813, in third. Nick Miller from Bristolville, Ohio, in fourth. And then John Higgins out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, in fifth place. But get this, sixth place, Chris Landfield, the 401. He's from Woodsville, Ohio. So 5 of the top 6 all from Ohio. Actually, going back a little further, you even got more, but crazy stuff. Now we go to the Senior B class, and we see that Jeff Harvey is the leader of this one out of West Union, West Virginia, by 2 minutes and 3 seconds behind the pro lines, the podcast we keep talking about. Daniel Dakota is second, Jason Limley in third, Robert Stevens in fourth, and Nick Lambruno in fifth. And we'll talk a little more about Jeff Harvey here in just a few moments. Right now, we're waiting on our leaders to check in here at this 5-mile marker as Mikey Waynes has made his way down to the podium area to get ready for this big finish. He wants to see Chris Borich come in and make that last lap pass on Walker Fowler. He wants to see the Borich happen. You know, I have to wonder, has Mikey Waynes ever actually witnessed the Borich? It's been a while since the Borich has been handed out. the last lap pass, if you will. And I don't know that Mikey Waynes has ever been witness to that, so that might be one of the reasons that Mikey is pulling for Chris Borich to be able to do something like that, because that in and of itself is a very historic thing. And there is Walker Fowler, and there is Chris Borich. They are still very close together. You can see a few bike links in this open field section, but look at the different line choices, and look at this. Chris Borich is not relinquishing any throttle whatsoever. His head is down. He is charging. He has Walker Fowler set in his sights right now. Is he in a striking position? Well, once we get into a tighter situation in those woods, get into some lap riders, we might see that happen. There's Jerry McClure checking in on the number 3 spot now as we roll through this final lap of racing now. Just to give you a heads up, within about 12 minutes or so, we should be seeing leaders check in for the overall. 10 minutes and 47 seconds according to timing and scoring that I'm looking at right now. So we've seen Fowler, we've seen Borich, we've seen McClure. Our next rider coming through, this should be Cole Richardson, Coltrane, checking in, and I believe that's who it is, the number 5 machine. And that's him on that Action Yamaha. And a little bit of a gap then back to Bryson Neal, who is your now 5th place position holder after leading just a lap and a half ago. So not real sure what happened to the Bidwell Bullet on the Landsmill XC CST Tires Hauser Yamaha, but he was really hoping to be able to pull off the win for the title sponsor this weekend in CST Tires. Unless some sort of miracle happens out here. Probably not going to see that happen. So continuing to watch with bated breath now, Richardson, Bryson Neal. Should be seeing Adam McGill. There is Neal, I believe, coming in now. Or is this McGill? Did we miss Neal? I think that might be him coming through now. That's him on the Land Mills XC machine. So you can see that he's lost quite a bit of time. You look at it on the clock, it said 47 seconds at the end of the last lap. And then here on lap 5, I'm going to say that's well over a minute. Maybe pushing a minute and a half, so we may have doubled that gap between the 4th and 5th place positions of Richardson and Neal. He's looking back over his shoulder. Now, he had a minute and 1 second buffer zone back to Adam McGill, the 521, so I don't know what he was looking over his shoulder at, maybe just doing a double check to see and make sure that there was no one back there. Out here at the Monster Mile once more. Our final time through for these leaders as we approach the 2-hour mark now here at the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. Walker Fowler making his way through the Monster Mile. There's Chris Borich, just that fast, my friends. They got that lap rider from behind them, or from between them now, and Chris Borich has free track in a tighter wood section, so we might see this even tighter when they come out of this Monster Mile, unless somehow or another Walker either finds some really fast speeds and some fast lines through there, and or has a problem, and or Chris Borich gets by. We may see Borich out front in this one. Who knows? As we work our way around this race course, we are 8 minutes out, 8 minutes away from making our way to the finish line and checker flag and possible, well, history, no matter how you point it, no matter how do you say it. Chris Borich is, if he gets the win here, he will get win number 75. That's historic because every time Chris Borich wins, it's a new record. And if Walker Fowler wins today, he will tie Barry Hawk with 49 ATV wins, which will tie him for 3rd in the most wins category. So history is certainly going to be written today. The question is, how will the history be written on this Saturday at the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC? Time will tell, and about 7 minutes of that time is what it's going to take, my friends. 7.5 minutes, according to timing and scoring, is what we estimate our leaders to be making their way into those closing moments and the checker flag of this 4th round of the 2019 season. Again, looking back, your leader in the XC2 Pro-Am class, John Glotta. Jordan Poplatsky has checked in 1 minute and 17 seconds behind him now. Ben Kowalewski, another 20 seconds back in the 3rd place position. He was a former leader in this class, so there's been a lot of changes. It'll be interesting to find out whenever Mikey Waynes talks to these riders down on the podium what went on out there. We know early on we had the miscue by some of the riders on the track. We heard talking just a few moments ago with Josh Merritt, that they were as far back as vet A riders. That was row 3 that had missed that turn and kept going and went the shorter route. So big things are certainly brewing out there. It made for some crazy things as far as trying to get things sorted out for those riders out there. They got it all sorted out. The one thing that they knew to do, and the only thing they could do, was keep their head down and keep racing, keep charging forward, let the chips sort them out and fall where they may, so to speak, and sort it all out whenever the dust settles at the end of the 2-hour race. And I know that our scoring folks have been working diligently to make sure that that's all right. Track crew all working well together, so whenever you see the results posted online for final results, you know those will be correct. Walker Fowler, 6 minutes or less now. We'll be seeing him make his way into the finish line region. Actually, first we'll see him at the pro pit area, and then exiting the pro pit area where he should not have to stop for anything at this point. We just got a report that Chris Borch has done it. The Borch has been pulled. The question is, will he be able to make it stick? The word is Chris Borch has taken over the lead here at the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC and is on his way to win number 75 here in GNCC Racing. That, my friends, like we said, a history-making moment in and of itself. Walker Fowler back in second. Will he be able to regain that second-place position? We should be seeing our leaders check in right here in just a few moments. They should be coming in, if I'm not mistaken, into this moto track section. They'll go across the famed Camp Coker motocross portion of the racetrack, and then we'll get a drag race basically through some of these open fields, through some of these tight wood sections, through the pro pits, and into the finish line chicane, where we will finally know who our winner is going to be. Will it be Chris Borch? Will it be Walker Fowler? Folks are standing on their toes right now, sitting on the edges of their seats. Just got another report, Hollywood driving by. We've got a new leader as they go by the TV booth. This is something exciting, folks, on many, many different levels. Chris Borch may have just done it. He may have just pulled out of the back pocket that magic card, the Borch on the last lap, an opportunity that has not afforded itself in quite some time in GNCC racing. We saw it maybe veer its head a couple of times last year, but Chris couldn't pull it off. This year he does it against the man. Another report, Chris Borch still out front right now, friends. They're coming from everywhere as the race fans are excited about this one. And here come your leaders now into view here on Racer TV. How far behind is Walker Fowler, and what will this moto track mean as Chris Borch hammered down on that ye old Cycle Barn Suzuki? He is by himself on the moto track right now. Chris Borch looking for win number 75 and does not look to be denied here today, as there is nothing in his rearview mirror as he makes his way across this Camp Coker motocross track. Walker Fowler looks like he's got a stick in the front tire of that machine as he makes his way onto this moto track. You know that is something. He obviously got off the trail, got stuck. Chris Borch must have been able to make the pass and make it stick, and now it's a matter of feet at this particular moment. Who is going to be able to close up faster on those finish line checkers as we roll toward the end of this one? How far are we away from a finish? Well, according to timing and scoring, we are less than 3 minutes out from this checker flag waving and a history-making event here at Camp Coker. Will it be win 75 for Chris Borch, or will Walker Fowler do it? Will he take that 49th win and tie Barry Hawk? Right now, the best friend that Barry Hawk has on the racetrack is a former nemesis of his, in a way, in Chris Borch. And Chris Borch is trying to do his old buddy a treat and a favor here today and keep that position alive in the history books for at least one more round of racing. Back in third place, still Jared McClure, Cole Richardson, Bryson Neal, and back in the number 6 spot is still Adam McGill. But all eyes, all ears, all hearts right now are focused on what's going on between the number 1 and the number 3 machines as they make their way toward that finish line. We're watching right now, I believe this is Richardson going through the FMF PowerPoint section right now on this motocross track. Should be seeing Bryson Neal come through there in just a few moments as well. I'm still waiting on updates and reports. What's going on in this battle up front? According to my calculations, we are less than 2 minutes out. A minute and a half. We should see them in the pro pits anytime. We should see them winding their way into the final closing turns of this race course within the next minute. As our camera crew waits down at the finish line right now to catch this one. Will Walker Fowler be able to close up on Chris Borge? Will these guys have those heated, hard, slamming finishes that we've seen so many times in years past? Is this the first day of something new and exciting in GNCC racing for 2019? And will my predictions come true? Will this be the hardest championship season across the board for everyone, including Walker Fowler? Well, today we know that he has certainly found his struggles. He's still up front. You can't count him out for a national title, but what you can count him out for today possibly is not taking this win. This could be Chris Borge's day today, my friends. Chris Borge could be making win number 75. Will it happen? We are, according to my calculations, now less than a minute. We should have a camera on the finish line, and there it is. There is Chris Borge, folks. Chris Borge making his way through this final wood section here at the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. You see him winding his way through that twisty sand and through those trees. And is that Chris Borge stopping now? Was that Borge? Maybe we were wrong. Let's see here. Chris Borge. No, that was Borge. He slowed down, but he's not slowing down now. Listen to that crowd. Look at that crowd as Chris Borge makes his way by into the AMSOIL chicanes now. The final turns, and Chris Borge does it. Chris Borge wins the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC win number 75 as he notches one more off in the history books. And not only doing that, he also stops Walker Fowler from taking the third place position. Walker just as excited as he will finish second. His championship definitely not in any compromise at this particular point, but what a day. What a major turn of events here today. Hollywood, my friend, coming by to make sure that we know that Chris Borge took the win over Walker Fowler. And what a day. That's going to be the biggest smile from that proud papa right there and Chris Borge, and we've seen in a long, long time. And I cannot wait to hear that when you see Jared McClure comes up, gives him a high five, shakes his hand, of course. Jared McClure finishing in the number 3 spot here. So we have Borge, Fowler, McClure 1, 2, and 3. If you're watching timing and scoring, they scanned Walker twice, but they just took that lap away. So 12 seconds was the deficit. 17 seconds back to McClure. And we're looking for Cole Richardson and Bryson Neal to be checking in here in just a moment. But what a day here in South Carolina. My friends almost said Florida because of all the sand. But we started out rain showers. It was overcast. It was muggy. It was threat of rain all day long. And still in the area, a slight possibility and chance of that rain. And the mugginess still in the area. It is a hot day here in South Carolina. But I tell you, these riders all dug deep. They gave us the show that we've been waiting for. The show that we wanted as we made our drive down here to South Carolina. The show that certainly makes for a reason for us to keep coming back to GNCC Racing. My friends, that is what GNCC Racing is all about. When you see the man come from behind, digging deep, and able to muster up that win. How about it for Chris Borge? Got to tip my hat to that rider. Got to tip my hat to Walker Fowler as well. What a day out there. And I tell you, folks, I don't know if we're going to take a break and then head down to the podium here in just a few moments, but an amazing day of racing. Congratulations to all these guys. We got, again, Borge, Fowler, McClure, Cole Richardson checking in now in the number 4 spot. 58 seconds back officially is what they're saying on that one. Bryson Neal checking in another 49 seconds back in the 5th place position of XC1 Pro and overall racing. I guess the big question next is what's going on in XC2? Well, I can tell you right now, it looks like John Glada may be the rider that we'll be watching for in that one. Jordan Paplatsky and Ben Kowalewski, Tanner Walker, Matt Lindell, your top 5 heading into the final lap. And those guys aren't due in for another, according to my calculations, about another 7 minutes. I tell you what, Adam, Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back. We'll catch up with XC2 Pro-Am. We'll catch up with our XC1 Pro Class riders on this historic day as we head to the podium on this one and find out what just exactly took place out there on that racetrack. Stick around, my friends. GNCC Live continues right after this.
Your bearings shoulder the burden whenever you tow, haul, or stop the gas. AMSOIL delivers powerful protection for bearings and other critical components so you can drive with confidence. To demonstrate, an independent lab put AMSOIL synthetic motor oil head-to-head against a leading competitor in a 100,000-mile test. AMSOIL provided far superior wear protection and kept engine bearings looking like new. Get your truck the protection it deserves at amsoil.com/auto.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association, racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
This week in Yamaha history. Back when great names like Rodney Smith, Fred Andrews, Mike Lafferty, and Yamaha's Randy Hawkins and Barry Hawk were the elite of GNCC, a relative newcomer from the West Coast, Yamaha's Jason Raines was beginning to make his mark in GNCC. This week in 2002, at the Loretta Lynn GNCC on a dry and dusty day, Raines jumped out to the early lead over Mike Lafferty. Battling for nearly 3 hours in the dry, rocky, dusty soils of Tennessee, Raines would also go on not only to claim this victory, but also 6 AMA National Hare Scramble Championship titles, as well as a handful more GNCC wins throughout his career as an XC1 Pro. And after a decade and a half later, Raines can still be found on occasion racing his Yamahas in the XC3 125 class. Still taking wins, just like back in 2002. And that's this week in Yamaha history.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live, as we have an opportunity to meet our top amateur of this week.
My name is Jeff Harvey, and they call me Hardcore Harvey. Actually, our race team is Hardcore Harvey Motorsports, and currently for this year we're running in Senior B 40+. We've been fortunate enough this year to put off first 3 rounds with 3 wins, so we're doing well. We've started a podcast called Life Behind the Pros, and the idea is that, of course, nothing against any of the pro riders or anything like that, but, you know, pretty much the whole weekend there's a lot of features and a lot of focus on the pros, and just have always felt like that, you know, it's kind of the rest of us guys that are trying to help keep this sport going. And we just wanted to do something where we could try to figure out a way to highlight and bring some recognition to the guys that are lining up in the non-pro rows, and get some of their names out there and some of the special stories. We're trying to do things around like cool rider nicknames and how people got their nicknames for racing. You know, try to get people from different states that are coming to the GNCCs, and just kind of really promote the guys that aren't on the pro lines. Of course, as with many things around here with part of the Mafia, everybody kind of gets a nickname at some point. We were just, I think we're on a side-by-side ride, And, of course, you know how those things sometimes go. One thing led to another, and I think Adam just said, you know what, man, you're just hardcore. And then it was just like it stuck. So then after that, the guys in the intermediate group or the immediate group just started calling me hardcore. Then I kind of accepted it and then just kind of went from there.
Hardcore Harvey, and glad to see he's got that podcast going. I know I got Quad Radio. I try to do a lot, and everybody that's doing all these podcasts for ATV racing is certainly helps promote the sport. And Hardcore, certainly glad to see that you got things going on and promoting the heart of this GNCC Racing Nation. Let's take a look at our top 10 leaderboard now. The Camp Coker Bullet GNCC CST Tires unofficial results, I should say. Chris Borch taking the win over Walker Fowler. Jared McClure in third. Cole Richardson holds on for fourth, and it's Bryson Neal in fifth. Sixth place is Adam McGill. Hunter Hart, who rode literally by himself all day, finishes in a solid seventh place position. Wesley Wolf in eighth. John Glotta Jr., XE2 Pro-Am class winner, takes the win in that class in ninth place overall, and second place in the class, Jordan Poplatsky out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania, the number 82, rounds out the top 10 overall, and as we said, second in the Pro-Am division. That's your Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com top 10 board here at the end of this Camp Coker Bullet GNCC, and boy, cannot wait to see hear the interviews on this. And Mikey Wayne's down near the finish line right now, getting the guys all ready, and this has been one in the making for, it seems like, a few years. I don't think that Mikey Wayne's has ever had an opportunity to witness the Borich, and I'm not sure how the Borich actually worked this time. We've seen sticks in Walker Fowler's quad, so maybe he might not have pulled an actual Borich off, but I'll tell you what, he won, and he got win number 75, and that's a history-making moment here in GNCC Racing, and we're going to find out the true story of what took place there. I will tell you this, did you see that Chris Borch, we saw him stop, and we were wondering and questioning what was going on, talking with NBC Sports cameraman Mike Holbert. Mike Holbert told us that Chris Borch was running out of gas, and that was the second time that he actually stopped and stalled out before he got to the finish line. So Chris Borch nearly not making the way all the way to the finish on that gas. So he literally came across the line in fumes. There is the 7-12 of John Glotta. He will take the 8th place overall position or 9th place overall position as anticipated. And let's double check and make sure he didn't do any better. So 9th place behind Wesley Wolf, and we expect John Poplatsky to be in a minute or so, and he will round out the top 10 overall. But yep, all eyes right now, all fans. You know, you saw the crowd down there. You could hear them, or I could feel them and hear them. You know, they were certainly making some cheers and jeers for Chris Borch as he came around to take that win. Of course, last year, Chris Borch finally got the monkey off his back by getting that one win last season. He had been in a 3 or 4 year dry spell since he had gotten any wins. That was win 74, but win 75 may be one of the sweetest of all here today on a couple of different levels. And one of those is because he has to make Walker Fowler wait just a little bit longer to celebrate win number 49 and tying himself and moving into a 3rd place position in the history books of all-time wins. But regardless, it's been an amazing day today. Great start. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Walker got the early lead in this one, whole shot and all $250. And those guys never let up. We saw Walker back at 6th place on lap number 1. He had eventually worked his way quickly back to the front of the pack. But those front 6 for the first couple of laps really never separated much. It wasn't until the last 2.5 laps that we started seeing the separation when we saw the miscues by Bryson Neal. Bryson Neal leading for a good portion of this race, about the midway point. It looked like Neal might be on his way to taking the win here at the Bullet, but all of a sudden we go from Neal leading to Neal dropping all the way back into a 5th place position, shuffling the field quite a bit, bringing Walker to the front, Chris Borich in 2nd, McClure in 3rd, and Richardson in 4th, and then Neal, like we said, in 5th. And then as this race wore on, we noticed that Chris Borich was right there on the rear wheels of Walker Fowler, and the end result is this right here, ending in the winner's circle with Mikey Waynes. All right, maybe they're not ready down there. I thought they said to go ahead. All right, we need to turn that mic on, Adam. So stand by. We'll get the word in with Chris Borch here in just a couple moments. But nonetheless, what a great day. Chris Borch, win number 75. Never knowing what, we never knew until the checker finally flew, and it was still up in the air with Chris Borch running out of gas like that. So working on some technical difficulties right now. As soon as we get that sorted out, there is 5:27. Let's check in with some of these riders coming through here, just to give you an idea who some. All right, sounds like we might have things ready to go down at the finish line. Are we ready down there yet, guys? But Aaron Greenwald was the rider we just saw check in. Johnny Gallagher checking in now. I tell you what, come on over right now while we got just a second. We're waiting. We got some technical difficulties going on right now. I've got, and I'm sorry, AJ. Okay, Sanders. Sanders. Okay, AJ Sanders. Let's see if we got you on the right headset here. Can you say something?
Check.
There you go. All right, AJ Sanders here with the Monster Energy Music Tour. Man, you came over here. You were ready to go on the first lap. Then you went and watched races, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched the races, man, and we just got done sound checking. But man, it was cool. You could hear everything echoing through the trees over there. So it was cool.
You said you had friends. You found a friend that you grew up with racing.
Yeah. So my buddy Kyle, he's been doing this for years, and I moved to Nashville probably 3 years ago. So I know he's been invested probably 5 years. And I was hoping I would see him, and when you announced me earlier, he was like, I know that guy. So we came running up, so I was glad I got to see him because it's been a long time since I caught up with him.
Well, I know we got some real country music coming up tonight, AJ, and you've got a lot of, you're going to do some cover stuff, but you got a lot of your own original stuff.
I do, man. We just put out an EP, and it's self-titled AJ Sanders, and it actually went number 15 on iTunes.
Really?
Yeah, so it went number 15 on iTunes. It features the song Chevy and Daddy, which has been played about 5 million times, and it hasn't been on the radio yet. So we're about to probably make a push at radio with it. So
that's great, AJ. So we're on the cusp of something huge for you right now.
I hope so, man. You never know. It's one of those things that me coming from, like I told you earlier, I grew up in Hartsville, South Carolina, which is minutes away, and it's a humbling experience because I have fans that are in Japan, believe it or not, Germany, like everywhere. So it's crazy, especially a small town guy like me. I mean, it's a long shot to get anything in this industry. And I just, I'm a huge Eric Church fan, and I went there to move to Nashville to do my music, do what I wanted to do. It wasn't pop country, it's storytelling, and everything's about my life. So
that's great, man. I mean, it's old school country. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with today's country music. I mean,
no, not at all.
There's a good pop edge to it, but there's something about old classic style country that really. So we're going to hear a lot of that tonight.
And actually, we're playing about 3 or 4 songs that have not been released yet. That'll be out later in the year. So. We kind of molded this concert especially for this audience because, I want to represent what, the storytelling side of music. That's what brought me into it with Alan Jackson and, George Strait and all those guys was they were able to get on the microphone and tell a story.
Well, I'll tell you.
At the end of the day, if it's easy to write a song about beer and talk about girls, man, nothing wrong with that. But if you can make a grown man cry, and I've had it happen before. It's a really moving thing that a song can do that.
That's a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a breath of fresh air to have that kind of hunger, that kind of desire, that heart that you've got for it. And I'm glad. And I hope I'm talking to a future superstar, and I can say,
man.
And you can,
so.
Yeah, and maybe one day I can. Hey, you remember me?
Yeah,
we were on Racing TV together. But AJ, 8 o'clock tonight, man.
Yeah,
appreciate you. I hope the folks that are close by come in and watch because it's going to be a big show.
I've had a lot of people say they were coming if they couldn't make it to the races. They were coming tonight, and actually, most gigs you go to, you get pretty nervous here and there. Especially with something like this, you're not exactly how they're going to take you, but everyone here has been as friendly as they can be, and it's such a close-knit community, and I really hope that they embrace what I'm about, embrace me, and I can't thank you more than anything for letting me be a part of this. This is awesome.
Hey, we're glad that you're a part of it, and thanks to Monster Energy, you do a lot of big shows like
Yes,
this.
sir.
So you're going to be Monster Energy
so,
wouldn't be on board if there wasn't a reason.
I hope so.
AJ Sanders, thank you
Yes,
again,
sir.
brother.
Hey, thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Looking forward to
Yes,
your
sir.
show tonight. Part of the Monster Energy concert tour. AJ Sanders here with us tonight, and got a friend. What was your friend's name again?
Kyle. I forgot his last name. I hate to say that. I haven't seen him in so long.
Right,
but Kyle,
no, I know how it goes.
Yeah, he's actually racing tomorrow. He's on the dirt bike
Oh,
side.
okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I've got a charity event to do tomorrow, so I'm going to miss that. But, yeah.
Well,
So it's going to be cool, man. Hey, again, I love everything that, revolves around this. I love the audience that I've seen and just the support and passion, everyone backing each other. I mean, this is tough what they do, man. These are athletes.
They are. Hey,
I mean,
you can do this. You know that, don't you?
I don't know like they can, man. These guys are going. I grew up riding trails, like I told you earlier, about 30 minutes away, all the way up to here. And we did a style like this, just riding trails as fast as we could, but nothing on this level. I mean, you got to have mad respect for someone that will take off like this and do it 3 hours straight, nonstop. I mean, that's amazing.
That's nuts.
Man.
And yeah, I mean, it's physically and mentally challenging. It really is. And it amazes me the amount of people that on any given weekend put themselves through that.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about it. I mean, it's you're racing against other people, but you're racing against nature. You're man and machine
Right.
against the world, basically.
I
What
agree.
it boils down to. It's a great feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like it, man.
It really is.
So, yeah.
And I think tonight's show is going to be fun as
yeah,
well.
It is. We're gonna rock the house, man. It's gonna be a good time for sure.
I believe that. And whenever they told you, hey, we got a show for you to do close to home, what'd you think?
Oh man, actually the guy that owns the track I used to work for.
Oh no
yeah,
kidding.
So
Mr.
Hank
Moore.
Marie and
Yeah.
all those guys I used to work for him, and he called me. He's like, man, I got a guy calling you, and are you up to do a pretty big gig? I said, yeah, obviously. And, just let me know. And I got a call from Tim Cotter with about the event, and he said, how do you feel about doing this and working with Monster and working with us and GNCC and all of that? And I said, yeah, by all means, let me know, what you want me to do, what you want me to share, and I'm all aboard. I'm all about it because these are my people. This is what I grew up around, and this is what I grew up with. A lot of my friends, growing up, did this, all the time.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool just to be a part
It
of
is, man, and it's neat how anybody can come from nearly any sector of the U.S.
exactly.
Across the world and fit in right here. Everybody fits in. You find a place here, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. You don't even have to be racing.
Right.
You find a place you fit in somehow or another.
And like I said, the support system, it's a funny thing. Like I'm very adamant on I don't have fans, I have friends because friends support each other. Same thing here, everyone here is just so supportive. So it's really nice that everyone's so supportive and it's so close-knit of a community. So,
well, I tell you what, it is most certainly that. I hope that we get to see you out here
you
again
will,
more.
man.
AJ Sanders going to be performing
Yes, sir.
tonight, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on the Monster Energy stage here at the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. Unfortunately, a few little minor glitches, technical difficulties. Not going to be able to get the word from Chris Borich on the Borich itself in the last lap pass there, but we do know how this one broke down. Chris Borich takes win number 75. Walker Fowler will finish up in second. Jared McClure in third. And that's pretty much going to wrap things up as far as that goes on the XC2 side of things. It was, again, John Glotta taking the win, Jordan Poplawski in second. Early leader in that one, Ben Kowalewski ends up finishing in third. Tanner Walker and also Matthew Lindell rounding out the top five. That's going to wrap things up. We'll be back tomorrow around 1 o'clock with more great live racing action. Also, 10 o'clock starts tomorrow morning for our 10 o'clock race. And until then, on behalf of Mikey Waynes and also Landon Wolf and all of us here at RacerTV.com, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying good day, everybody.